throwing the herrings afterwards. See, I don't do that. I got to use it for thing too.
To get to those state championships back in 2015, they did win the semi-state before losing in the state, and obviously some various regional titles along the way, been very successful. And then Jake Miners, in his young career, 7 years at the helm here at East Central, 74-15, already 2 state championships under his belt. I do think both these coaches, Jerry, have a great deal of respect for one another.
Yes, they do. They scrimmaged each other in the summertime, and of course, the one loss I believe Kyle Ralph had in the state title game was to Fort Wayne Snyder by a score of 64-61.
Oh, what a game.
They had Bengals defense playing on both sides of the ball.
As we look out at the field right now, the East Central Trojans are set to kick this football off. New Palestine will get the football first. East Central did win the toss, chose to defer. Back deep for New Palestine will be Cade Stevens. He's a junior. 5 returns for a 32-yard average. Kicking off for East Central, it will be Liam Cox, and he's done a great job this year. 65 kickoffs, averaging 48 yards and 9 touchbacks. The Trojans will kick off from our right to our left. New Pal will field this one back on the 3-yard line, bringing up the field across the 15, out near the 20-yard line, diving across the 25, coming up just shy of the 30. It looked like number 8 on the run back that time. For the New Palestine Dragons, that was Ryder Gardner, a junior.
You can see right away they kicked it away from their main returner, and Trojans a good job on special teams. Hey, that's a good start, even though it's a kickoff, because this team is notorious for the return ability all over the field. They're going to start it at their own 24-yard line.
Quarterbacking the Dragons, Jacob Davis, a 6'3", 195-pound senior. He's 94 for 134 through the air for 1,634 yards, 19 touchdowns on the year through the air against only 1 interception. He's back to pass on first down, rolling out to his right near the Trojan sideline. Has a man out near midfield but cannot haul it in. That pass falls incomplete. It was intended for Mason Oglesby.
He had a lot of time and great coverage by the secondary. Usually in something like that in high school football, you're going to get somebody to come open or somebody's going to commit a penalty. But East Central a great job in the defensive secondary.
Oglesby, a 6'4", 222-pound junior wide receiver, is the leading receiver on this team, 29 receptions for 405 yards and 5 touchdowns. Caden Jacobia is in the backfield right beside Davis. He'll take the handoff. Jacobia gets to the outside. It gets a nice block at the 40. He's out at midfield down the sideline to the Trojan 40-yard line before he's drug out of bounds and down to the ground. A big gainer that time for New Palestine.
We got a flag back at the 26-yard line, and New Pal is walking backwards, so that's obviously going to be a hold on them. And that's a big break for the Trojans if it is.
Caden Jacobia, a 5'10", 194-pound senior. Jacobia has carried it 79 times for 874 yards and 12 touchdowns. The other offensive player who will carry the football is one and only Jacob Davis, the quarterback, 91 carries for 734 yards and 13 touchdowns. So the two of them can pick up some ground on the ground, and this was indeed a holding penalty, Jerry, which will move the football all the way back to the 16-yard line.
You talk about offensive coaches scripting the first few plays of the game. The East Central defense couldn't have scripted these first 2 plays any better than what they just did.
It's going to be a run for Davis, looking for blocking to the right. Breaks a couple of tackles, gets out across the 20-yard line, out near the 22. So he will pick up about 7 on the play. Going to bring up a 3rd down and 12. And a chance here for the Trojan defense to get off the field.
Strung it out very nicely. You're not going to shut these guys down completely between the quarterback, Jacob Davis, and their running back. He's a good one, Caden Jacoby. They're going to get some yards tonight. You just got to bring them down. That's the big thing with East Central tonight. You got to hit them and get them on the ground immediately. 3rd and long 12.
Three wide receivers stacked to the far wide side of the field. They're going that way and setting up a bubble screen. The pass is complete, getting out near the 30-yard line, but well short of the first down is Mason Oglesby. And, Jerry, he was stuck right there, and I believe it was Carson Dorsey on the tackle.
Carson Dorsey on the tackle, and New Pal will bring in the punt team. Now, obviously, this is our first time seeing them, Rob and myself. I don't know if they're a big team when it comes to fake punting. Now, I wouldn't think so in a regional game back at their own 30-yard line.
But you may notice partner Jacob Davis, the quarterback, is the punter.
Yep.
13 punts on the season, an average of 34 yards. Gets away a good one here, and it will bounce at the Trojan 30, and Noah Long will let it go, and it bounces all the way to the Trojan 15-yard line. So flipping the field on that punt, indeed, was Jacob Davis, but a good stop for the Trojan defense.
Oh, great start. Great start if you're East Central's defense. 3 and out. Obviously, the penalty was a big help as far as that goes. See what East Central can do here to start this game. New Pal will have, throughout the course of the night, they will have 3 to 5 guys that will play a lot on both sides of the ball.
Nolan Maple comes out 69 for 137 through the air, 1,133 yards. 11 touchdowns against 5 interceptions. It's a spread formation with Colton Bellman in behind him. They're going to hand it off to Colton Bellman, running over right guard this time. Colton gets positive yardage of 1 out to the 16-yard line. We'll bring up 2nd down and 9.
Seemed like a little kind of a feel-out play there almost. Bellman will come out.
Noah Long goes into the backfield for this 2nd down play. Trojans offensively averaging 37.2 points a game. 375 yards of offense, 262 of those come via the run. It's a direct.
It's time for exciting high school football on Southeastern Indiana's sports voice, WRBI, your local station providing you with free coverage for nearly 50 years. Now, let's go to the field for tonight's broadcast.
Good evening and welcome to Clarksville, home of the Providence Pioneers. And we get ready for tonight's regional number 24 in Class 1A between the 6-4 Milan Indians and the number 4 team in Class 1A, the 9-2 Providence Pioneers. Tonight's game is brought to you by Bruns Gutzwiller, the Reservation Restaurant, Napoleon State Bank, Hummel Winters Insurance, Ivy Tech Community College, Garings, Beck Properties, Ison's Family Pizza, Great Plains Communications, Franklin County Farmers Mutual Insurance, Hurt and Elko, and Randall Equipment. Along with my partner tonight, Max Abel, and on-site engineer Annie Nunley, I'm Tom Snape as we get ready for tonight's Regional 24 Championship between the Milan Indians and the Providence Pioneers. And Max, welcome to the broadcast, and looking forward to a great night of football tonight.
Well, it's good to be here, Tom, and this is what you play for. This is why you work all during the summer and in fall camp and all the way back to spring ball to play meaningful November football. It's they say November is the longest month of the year in the football calendar, and that's certainly the case. It gets a little bit colder, it's a little darker outside earlier, but this is why you play the game, for games like this, nights like this. So looking forward to get this one started.
Indeed, and of course, Milan last week in sectional 47 defeating North Decatur at home 27-7. Providence in sectional 48 knocking off North Davies 42-26. Ryan Lankfordman, the head coach of the Milan Indians, in 18th year. Of course, that's divided between the two different stints. with a record of 125-82. Daniel McDonald in his 6th season at Providence with a record of 53-18. And oh, by the way, they went undefeated and won a state championship a year ago. But this is a Providence team that's a little bit younger than what they're used to.
Yeah, I actually got in touch with Coach McDonald during the week, said that's one of the things that they'll struggle with at times is a little bit of youth, a little bit of inexperience. And in their 2 losses this year, he said that they played, quote, un-Providence-like football, had a bunch of turnovers, committed a bunch of penalties. So that's something to keep an eye on. And as I said, November football, it's great, but the air can get a little bit thin, especially on a young team. So something to keep an eye on there.
Indeed. Picture-perfect night tonight, 63 degrees. And, of course, the Milan Indians, winners of 4 in a row. And, of course, they had they started at 1-4 on the season, and then their next loss was the Eastern Hancock. But since then, they've been playing some really good football. And, of course, surprising a North Decatur team that a lot of people expected that game to be close. North Decatur had their opportunities, did not cash in, but Milan, to their credit, came up with the big plays on defense when they needed to, and gave them the Heisman stiff arm on offense as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's always good to win a football game, especially in the postseason, but especially when you lose a game that you think you should have won against that team in the regular season. Of course, Milan losing on a missed extra point and then a kickoff return for a touchdown early in the season there against North Decatur. So to get a little bit of revenge there, knock them out of the playoffs and keep your season alive, that's got to be really sweet.
And of course, the last meeting between these two ball clubs was a year ago. That'll be a year ago tomorrow in the regional. Providence, a 28-10 winner over the Milan Indians. So looking forward to tonight's ball game. The Providence Pioneers, winners of 6 straight. And as you mentioned, Max, the 2 losses, one coming to Louisville Holy Cross, 48-35. And also a loss in Week 5, that was against at Charlestown, 32-28. So some close losses, but again, ball security, as Coach McDonald will talk about in his upcoming interview. And speaking of which, had a chance to talk to both coaches. We're going to hear from Milan's Ryan Lankford, also Coach Daniel McDonald from the Providence Pioneers, and that's coming up after this 2-minute timeout. You're listening to High School Football on the WRBI app.
The Reservation in Milan celebrates gathering families with delicious, affordable cooking in a warm, welcoming atmosphere. This local favorite serves up heartfelt meals and true small-town hospitality. Open Monday through Saturday from 7 a.m. till 8 p.m., the Reservation invites guests of all ages to slow down and enjoy real comfort food. Southeastern Indiana knows good eats, and the Reservation in Milan is celebrating 40 years of proving it. With friendly service and flavor that feels like home.
Big news from the Napoleon State Bank. Your debit card just got an upgrade.
Wait, what?
Yep, now you can add your Napoleon State Bank debit card to Apple Pay, Google Wallet, Samsung Pay, and Garmin Pay now.
Tap it, pay it, done. No more digging through your wallet. Just a simple, secure, and speedy way to pay. Upgrade your wallet today. Add your Napoleon State Bank debit card to Apple Pay, Google Wallet, Samsung Pay, and Garmin Pay now. The Napoleon State Bank. No wallet, no problem. Locally owned since 1903. Member FDIC.
Are you confident that your insurance is providing the protection you deserve? At Hummel Winters Insurance, they consider your unique needs to recommend the best coverage for you, whether it's home, auto, business, or farm insurance. They partner with reputable companies like Indiana Farmers Insurance to provide tailored service and policies that fit just right. Stop by Hummel Winters Insurance at 118 West Indian Trail, Milan, or contact them at 812-654-2071 today.
Hey football fans, while Ivy Tech Community College doesn't have a football team, what it does have is your play to a great future. Earn a short-term certificate to quickly get into a high-wage, high-demand career. Earn your associate degree in a wide variety of programs for a more affordable transfer to a bachelor's degree. Classes are offered in person and online at the Lawrenceburg and Batesville locations. For more information, email r11express@ivytech.edu.
The most and best high school sports is on WRBI.
And we're joined at this time by the head coach of the Milan Indians, Ryan Lankford. And Coach, here we are at the regional against a proverbial power in Clarksville, Providence. And What is it about the Pioneers that you and your staff have seen that jumps out at you?
Well, first of all, they're a very well-coached team. Offensively, they can throw the ball and run the ball effectively. They spread the ball around a lot, so you just got to be sound defensively. You can't focus on one person, one target. Defensively, they present some challenges in the sense of they got some tall, long defensive linemen. I think it's going to be interesting tonight to see how it plays out. Being a former offensive line coach, they got some height. We got a little bit of size, girth on them, a little bit of a leverage advantage. So we'll see how that works out. But yeah, it should be a good game and a fun game to watch because I respect Coach McDonald. I think he respects us, our programs. I like to say do things the right way, and it's fun to coach against that. Coach against that.
And as far as your team is concerned, what do you feel like you need to do offensively and defensively?
So our message to the team was a lot like last week. We don't want to hurt ourselves, and that's been the biggest focus. And so hanging on to the football and not having mental penalties, right? Penalties that we can control. And I feel like if we can do that and run the ball effectively, we're going to be in good shape. Defensively, it's been getting lined up correctly. Different than last week. Last week, North Decatur likes to attack the middle of a defense, and Providence is kind of the opposite. They like to attack on the outside, so there's been some changes, some emphasis there this week. So we're prepared for them.
How's the health of your ball club tonight?
Good. Jose Blanco dressed last week but didn't play. He's going to punt for us tonight. He's coming back from a knee strain a few weeks ago against South Decatur, so it's good to see him back out. So I think we're the healthiest we've been in a while. Unfortunately, Brady and Caden and Hayden and Jaden are all still out for us. It's been a rough season from that standpoint, having lost essentially 4 starters for the season. But we're definitely getting healthier as we advance through the tournament.
All right, very good. We appreciate your time. Good luck, and as always, have fun.
Thank you.
Right. Once again, our thanks to Coach Ryan Langferman of the Milan Indians for joining us in tonight's pregame show. And we'll be back with more after this on the WRBI app.
Simmer and sear with confidence using a Maytag freestanding electric range with 5 elements, including a 9-inch and 6-inch dual choice element, variable broil, and warming center. You can knock out mealtime in no time. The steam clean cycle and fingerprint resistant stainless steel finish makes it easy to keep clean inside and out. Shop Garings today. Garings in Maytag, 316 North Main, Batesville.
While you're cheering on your hometown team, Angel Beck with Beck Properties Group eXp Realty is helping you score big in real estate. Looking to buy or sell in southeastern Indiana? Angel makes selling your home fast and finding your dream home easy. With target marketing, local expertise, and personalized service, Angel helps sellers get top dollar and finds buyers homes before they even hit the market. Visit sellingyourpropertyformore.com. Sellingyourpropertyformore.com. Angel Beck, taking above and beyond to the next level.
It's back. Our delicious chicken bruschetta pizza is back. Cecil Eisen from Eisen's Family Pizza in downtown Batesville. The savory pizza with white garlic sauce, seasoned chicken, mozzarella provolone cheese, tomatoes, and fresh basil, all on our fresh in-house made dough. Come try this or any of Batesville's best pizza at 117 East George Street, IsonsFamilyPizza.com, 812-933-0333. Ison's Family Pizza's famous chicken bruschetta pizza is back.
Go stream, go work, go game. No matter what you do online, we've got you. Great Plains Communications. Super fast, reliable internet built for the way you live, work, and play. Powered by our expanding fiber network, local call centers, technicians, technical support, and over a century of experience, we ensure your connection is fast, reliable, and stress-free. Go make the switch to Great Plains Communications today. And remember, for all the ways you live online, we've got you.
Southeastern Indiana's sports voice, WRBI.
And we're joined at I'm going to try it again. And we're joined by the head coach of the Providence Pioneers, Daniel McDonald. And Coach, the Milan Indians coming into your place tonight, what is it about them that jumps out at you and your staff?
I have a lot of respect for Coach Langferman and their staff. We've played them 7 or 8 times since I've been here at Providence, and every time you know you're going to get a very disciplined, very tough, very well-coached opponent. You can tell that his staff watches film and tries to take advantage of things that you do poorly. We're going to see some things tonight that we haven't seen on film, and it's a testament to his and his staff's hard work. It's going to be a good one.
As far as your team is concerned, I know you said during the week that they got a young team, but what do you feel that your guys need to do to get out of here with a regional championship?
We have to win the turnover battle. In our 2 losses, I think we turned the ball over 9 times, and you're not going to win a game like that. So we have to take care of the ball, and we have to win the explosive play margin. We have to have more explosive plays than they do.
And how about the health of your ball club coming in?
It's November football, man. We're all banged up. We're a small school roster. We're dealing with injuries, sickness, everything under the sun, you name it. We're dealing with it, but so is everybody else in the state of Indiana. So we're just going to, coach the next man up and move on and try our best to win this game.
All right. Well, we appreciate your time. Good luck, and as always, have fun.
I appreciate y'all covering us.
Once again, our thanks to Coach Daniel McDonald of the Providence Pioneers for joining us in tonight's pregame show. And we'll be back with more after this on the WRBI app.
Franklin County Farmers Mutual Insurance at 125 Main Street in Brookville was founded in 1900. And they're not just for farmers. Get your auto and home insurance through Franklin County Farmers Mutual Insurance Company, too. Visit their website at fcfminsurance.org. Looking for a local insurance company with local agents? Look no further. Franklin County Farmers Mutual Insurance. Not just for farmers.
Your free source for local sports. WRBI.
And welcome back to Our Lady of Providence High School in Clarksville as we get ready for this Class 1A Regional 24 Championship game between the Milan Indians and the Providence Pioneers. And other games around the area tonight, of course, already underway on 103.9 FM and the WRBI app. New Palestine at East Central. Rob Moorhead and Jerry Stenger with the call of that one. We'll also keep you update on that. Also keep you abreast of what's going on at the pit tonight. In Class 3A, the Lawrenceburg Tigers hosting the Cascade Cadets. So we'll keep you up to date on those games tonight as we go on to a regional weekend here around southeastern Indiana and the state as a whole. Both teams are out on the field getting ready for the national anthem and also a benediction as well. So we're going to go ahead and step aside for a 2-minute timeout. And we'll tell you the fashion report real quick. The Milan Indians with the black helmets, black pants, and the white jerseys trimmed in black and Vegas gold trim letters and numerals. The Pioneers of Providence with the white helmets, white pants, and the Navy jerseys trimmed in gold. So that's the fashion report for tonight's ball game. So we're going to go ahead and step aside for this break for the anthem, and we'll be back with a kickoff in tonight's Class 1A Regional 24 Championship game between the Milan Indians and the Providence Pioneers. And that's coming up here in just a little bit. You're listening to high school football on the WRBI app.
When looking for the highest standard of HVAC service and care, turn to Hurt & Elko, your local Lennox Premier dealer. Hurt & Elko and their Premier dealer status means you're certain to be working with a company who has the highest level of training, professionalism, and customer satisfaction. For a limited time, they're offering up to $1,900 in rebates on a brand new Lennox system or finance with low monthly payments. Call Hurt & Elko today at 812-934-4646 or visit them online at hurt-elko.com to learn more. Conditions apply. See dealer for details.
Family owned and operated, Randall Equipment Company takes pride in helping neighbors get the right tools for the job. You'll find Bad Boy mowers, Coyote tractors, and Vermeer hay equipment, backed by people who actually use what they sell. From routine service to serious upgrades, they keep your machines working hard, running right, and built to last season after season. Randall Equipment Company, honest work, quality gear, and a simple truth: business is good. The Reservation in Milan celebrates gathering families with delicious, affordable cooking in a warm, welcoming atmosphere. This local favorite serves up heartfelt meals and true small-town hospitality. Open Monday through Saturday from 7 a.m. till 8 p.m., the Reservation invites guests of all ages to slow down and enjoy real comfort food. Southeastern Indiana knows good eats, and the Reservation in Milan is celebrating 40 years of proving it. With friendly service and flavor that feels like home.
Big news from the Napoleon State Bank. Your debit card just got an upgrade.
Wait, what? Yep, now you can add your Napoleon State Bank debit card to Apple Pay, Google Wallet, Samsung Pay, and Garmin Pay now.
Tap it, pay it, done. No more digging through your wallet. Just a simple, secure, and speedy way to pay. Upgrade your wallet today. Add your Napoleon State Bank debit card to Apple Pay, Google Wallet, Samsung Pay, and Garmin Pay now. The Napoleon State Bank. No wallet, no problem. Locally owned since 1903. Member FDIC.
Are you confident that your insurance is providing the protection you deserve? At Hummel Winters Insurance, they consider your unique needs to recommend the best coverage for you, whether it's home, auto, business, or farm insurance. They partner with reputable companies like Indiana Farmers Insurance to provide tailored service and policies that fit just right. Stop by Hummel Winters Insurance at 118 West Indian Trail, Milan, or contact them at 812-654-2071 today.
And welcome back to Providence High School as we get ready for this Regional 24 Championship in Class 1A between the Milan Indians and the Providence Pioneers. The captains from both squads are out on the giant Pioneer logo at midfield. It's in white, also navy and Vegas gold as well. So get ready for tonight's ball game. And, of course, Providence, a team that they run multiple offensive formations. Coach McDowell said you can probably call us a gun tee. Defensively, they run a 4-3. Milan runs they run different power sets and everything, and also they're more of a 5-2 type of offense. So the coin flip has been taken. And Milan will kick off to Providence to begin tonight's ball game. So the Pioneers will get the ball first, and they'll be going from right to left as we're looking at things here at Murphy Stadium on the campus of Our Lady of Providence High School.
Milan winning the toss, electing to defer. It kind of depends on your philosophy, what you think about your team, but I always like getting your defense out there on the field first to set the tone. And obviously Coach Ryan Langfordman is a smart man because he agrees with me and he wants to send his defense out there to try and land the first punch here.
All right, and then so about ready to get things underway here for the Providence Pioneers. Though again, they will be getting the ball first, and they saw something on film last week with North Decatur. They know that the kicker for the Milan Indians, Nick Voss, is he was trying to keep it away from Corbin Thackeray last week, and they saw a lot of that, the steady diet of boots on the ground and things of that nature. So we're about ready to get things underway here in this regional championship game between Milan and Providence. It's a battle of the Indians and the Pioneers. No, not a John Wayne film, but Milan and Providence as we get ready for tonight's contest. It's brought to you in part by Bruns Gut Spoiler, the Reservation Restaurant, and Napoleon State Bank. So Voss lines it up, and he's about ready to kick things off here. He advances on the ball and keeps it on the ground. It's picked up by one of the upmen who falls immediately at the Providence 49-yard line. So excellent field position to begin for the Pioneers.
Almost looked like an onside kick there.
It really did, yeah.
So good job there. I couldn't see who recovered it for Providence, but that's one thing that they always tell you on kickoff return, especially the opening kickoff or the opening kickoff of a half. Don't leave early if you're on that front line. So that was well done there by Providence.
Nico Fondrisi, a sophomore, in at quarterback, and they will have three wide receivers split to the near side. One up top. Fondrisi operating out of the shotgun. He has one man on his right hip, now shifts over to his left hip. Have a little bit of pre-snap formation movement. Back to throw is Fondrisi looking and firing upfield and off the hands of his intended receiver just beyond the reach. And he was trying to go to number 8. That is Jacob Evans. So Evans is well defended by the Milan Indians, well defended. But Fondrisi on the year, 1,603 passing yards, 23 touchdowns, just 3 interceptions, and he's also got a pair of touchdown runs. Although he's got negative yardage as far as the running game is concerned, but he still has 2 touchdowns on the ground. 3 wides to the near side, operating out of the shotgun, and Fondrisi's going to carry it. He gets it to the 50, to the 49. He's got to pick up 2 yards. That's going to be it. Colby Bushhorn in on the stop for the Milan Indians, also getting in on the action. Is number 51, no 51 listed on my roster here, but it'll be Colby Bushhorn.
I believe that's Levi Pierce.
Levi Pierce, all right, very good.
I tell you, too, he didn't make the tackle, but Grant Lanferman did a really good job setting that edge there, forcing that play back inside where his help was.
Yeah, I had an old roster, and Levi had a different number. Now he wears 51. They swing it out to the right side along the numbers and pushed back, and well defended by the Milan Indians. And
looked like Lanferman again there.
Yes, it was Grant Lanferman on the stop. It was Kalen Sipes. He wears 0, the 5'10", 180-pound junior. And no gain on the play. Well defended there by Lanferman and company. That swing pass out on the right. So that's going to set up a 3rd and 10 for the Pioneers at the 50-yard line at 4th down. And it will be a punting situation for the Pioneers. It'll be Gabriel Bermudez, who averages 52 yards per punt. And it's going to be take a bounce and going to roll dead inside the 25. It will be down at the 23-yard line. So a 3-and-out by the Milan defense on this Providence offense that averages about 49 points a game, 41 points a game. They give up 16.5 defensively. Milan averaging 34 points a game while giving up 16 a contest. So immediately 1st and 10 for the Milan Indians at their own 23-yard line. And Wyatt Marsh at the controls for the Indians. 842 passing yards, 13 touchdowns, just 1 interception, 595 rushing yards, and 10 TDs on the ground. Operating out of the shotgun and going to hand it off. And running to the right side is Beckett Langferman. And Langferman should be close to the 1st down. I believe he's got it. They did what they did against the North Decatur Chargers last week, was go out on the perimeter, attack that perimeter consistently. And it is a pickup of 10 and a fresh set of downs for the Milan Indians.
Looked like just a direct snap there. Beckett Langferman off to the right hip of Marsh. They snapped it right to the running back there. He takes it around the left end there, and Langferman's had a big season on the ground, coming in just 25 yards short of 1,000 on the campaign.
So the Indians with a 1st and 10 at their own 34-yard line. Snap back to it and going up the middle. And rushing, getting across the 40 to the 41-yard line. And that is Langferman once again. That is Beckett Langferman, the ball carrier. And in on the stop for the Pioneers was Gabriel Bermudez. Gain of 7 on the play, so it'll be a 2nd and 3 for the Milan Indians at their own 41.
Well, you're seeing how much this Milan team likes to run the football. Definitely a run-first team, and off to a good start here. 1st down all the way out across the 40-yard line on 2 plays.
Indians up to the line of scrimmage. And Wyatt Marsh operating out of the shotgun. Snap back to him. And handed off, given off to Langferman. Goes up the middle and pushed back, shoved back by several blue-shirted defenders. And he did get the necessary yardage for the 1st down. He got it to the 45-yard line of Providence. And it's a fresh set of downs for the Milan Indians.
3 plays, 3 runs, about 20, 25 yards so far on the drive.
So a 1st and 10 Indians at the Pioneers at their own 45-yard line. Indians break the huddle. And they'll shift back into the shotgun, all kinds of pre-snap movement. We saw a lot of this last week against North Decatur. Direct snap to Grant Langferman. Langferman tries to the outside, cuts it to the near side, and it's got to be wrestled down after he gets it across the 45 to the 47-yard line. And coming up with the stop defensively was Lucas Mock, a 5'10", 175-pound senior defensive back.
Well, Mock does a little bit of everything. He's the backup quarterback. He's also listed here as their starting free safety, coming downhill, playing down in the box there. And that's the shortest run of the day so far by a margin. Only 2 or 3 yards on that one.
Yeah, they're going to give him 2, so it'll be a 2nd and 8 for the Indians at their own 47-yard line. They're on the right hash mark, going from left to right. Wyatt Marsh operating out of the shotgun as one back up to his hip. He's got to roll to his left under some pressure, looking, firing, and got to throw it up and got to chuck it to the Milan sidelines across the way. Some of the Providence fans asking for holding and also possibly intentional grounding, but he was well out of the tackle box.
Yeah, I think he got out of the tackle box. Could have been a hold, but I think that was Lincoln Kruger, the will linebacker, who got in the backfield and might have been grabbed a little bit. I thought that he could have fought through the contact, and the officials letting him play here as you'd want here in a playoff game.
So a 3rd and 8, Milan at their own 47-yard line. So their first opportunity on 3rd down in this drive. Just underway here, no score. 8:08 in the first quarter. Marsh out of the shotgun, claps his hands, direct snap. Now they're going to hand it off, going right side to Beckett. Grant Langford in the 30, 25-20, 15-10, and taken down inside the 10-yard line. And they will mark him down just right at the 10-yard line. A little trick as they direct snapped it to Beckett Langford, and he handed off on the jet sweep to the near side to older brother Grant, and Grant took it all the way down to the Pioneer 10-yard line.
Well, Grant Langford already doing a lot of things here tonight. Made a couple of big plays defensively to force that 3 and out, and listed as a tight end, but he can do it on the ground. He can do it through the air. 322 yards rushing and 5 touchdowns on the ground for him, and that one setting him up here in the red zone and a chance to draw first blood.
So the Indians with a 1st and goal at the 10. Marsh out of the shotgun and handed off to Beckett Langford. Langford tries the left side on the misdirection, and he'll get it inside the 10 down to around the 7-yard line. And in on the stop for Providence is Pete Lannon, a 6'1", 205-pound senior linebacker. So that will set up a 2nd and goal for the Indians at the 6-yard line of the Providence Pioneers. 7:07 and counting here in the first period. No score, but Milan looking to cash in here on their first opportunity. They won the toss, elected to defer, and 3 and out on defense. And they have put together a rock-solid drive here. Marsh out of the shotgun. Back to throws, slips, and he's going to call his own number, and he's going to get it down inside the 5 where he could get anything going there. A nice shoestring tackle there on the interior for the Providence Pioneers. Looked like that was Jorge Reyes Ninos, a 5'9", 210-pound sophomore linebacker who is one of the key players on defense for Providence. Came up with that shoestring tackle.
You said it, 108 tackles this year, most on the team, and looked like there was some running room there for Marsh. Designed quarterback run with a guard pulling to the right, and that, like you said, when he hit his back foot to try and change direction and come downhill, that back foot kind of went out from under him, slowed him down, and now we're going to get a timeout from Milan, it looks like.
Yeah, they're going to. Yeah, Providence is going to call the timeout, so that will be their first. It comes with 6:02 to go in the opening period. Your score, no score, Milan and Providence. However, the Indians threatening, and we'll be back in 30 seconds on the WRBI app.
Hey football fans, while Ivy Tech Community College doesn't have a football team, what it does have is your play to a great future. Earn a short-term certificate to quickly get into a high-wage, high-demand career. Earn your associate degree in a wide variety of programs for a more affordable transfer to a bachelor's degree. Classes are offered in person and online at the Lawrenceburg and Batesville locations. For more information, email r11express@ivytech.edu.
The most and best high school sports is on WRBI.
Tonight's game brought to you in part by Hummel Winters Insurance, Ivy Tech Community College, and Gehrings. And the Milan Indians with a third and goal at the 6-yard line of the Providence Pioneers. And rolling up to the left side and getting inside the 5, and not much going there. And that's, once again, Beckett Langferman, the ball carrier for the Milan Indians.
Well, Providence doing a good job here, bowing their neck. Milan got it down there into scoring range pretty easily, but now you got a 4th and goal off the 4. Long drive here, over 6 minutes of clock eaten up by Milan, but in danger coming away with 0.
Yeah, this would be huge if Providence is able to get off the field here on 4th and goal. 4th and goal, Indians at the Providence 3-yard line. They've got him packed in tight. Under center is Wyatt Marsh, the quarterback. Send a man in motion. And they run to the right side. And getting in for the touchdown is Beckett Langferman. So the Milan Indians cash in. The score comes at 5:12 in the opening period. Langferman with the 3-yard run.
I misspoke. It's about 5.5 minutes of clock still. A long, sustained drive. You get the 3 and out after. I mean, if you go back to the start of the game, you start with that short kickoff. Providence starting at midfield. You're thinking, oh, no, we just spotted them good field position, but you get the 3 and out, a couple of explosive plays on the ground, and then a little power football there at the goal line.
Nick Voss on for the extra point attempt. It is up. And it is good. Voss now 36 of 42 on PAT attempts on the year. And the Milan Indians take a 7-0 lead over the Providence Pioneers. And Max, your thoughts on that opening drive? That was special.
That's just what you need to do. You're going on the road. You're an underdog in a playoff game, playing the defending state champs. 3 and out. You eat up half the quarter and score a touchdown. That's huge.
And I'll tell you what, the sophomore Beckett Langferman, I mean, what a show he put on in that drive.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think he gets credit there at the end for the touchdown, but he set him up there, and it was one of the Langfermans pretty much the entire drive. And again, just couldn't have drawn up a better start for Milan.
So Grant Langferman, will credit him with the touchdown. So he gets in and from 3 yards out. Pushed it in, and that was a huge. I mean, the fact that it could have been swung the game the other way.
Exactly. And if you don't get in there, it's not the end of the world because you still have Providence pinned back by their own goal line, but still a lot of momentum that you lose if you don't cash in there on that drive. So that's well done. And Grant Langferman, that is 6'2", 205. You just give it to him, let him put that head down and sledgehammer his way into the end zone. Not very many tight ends have 6 rushing touchdowns on a season, but he's not your ordinary tight end.
No, indeed, he's not. So the Milan Indians getting ready to kick things off here. And again, the return guys for the Providence Pioneers are playing up around the 30. Now they're going to back it up a little bit. But, yeah, they had the opening kickoff as more like an onside kick. And recovered by Providence, and they could not do anything with it. 3 and out. And Voss advances on. He's got moved high and fielded about the 15-yard line to the 20, 25, 30, and taken down around the 25-yard line. And so that's where the Providence Pioneers will start out 1st and 10, trailing the Milan Indians 7-0.
Well, we talked about field position last time, Providence starting right about midfield. Now you're going to start inside your own 25. A good kick there. I think a little bit deeper than those returners were expecting. Return man had to drift backwards as he was catching it, and that obviously slows him down and allows that coverage team to get down there and pin him.
1st and 10, Providence at their own 24-yard line. Fondrisi will hand it off, and running to the left side, Allen, the near hash mark. And not much going on there. And the ball carrier was once again, that's Kalen Sipes, the 5'10", 180-pound junior. And he's going to lose 3 on the play, so well defended by the Milan Indians.
Absolutely. Looked like Levi Pierce amongst the white shirts running to the football there. Milan getting some really good play on the perimeter here from their defense. The ins and outside backers doing a good job.
Fondrisi under shotgun will hand it off on the jet sweep and running to the right side of the formation. And as number 23 for the is Lincoln Kruer, a 5'9", 180-pound senior running back in that jet sweep. And picked up the 3 on the play, got back to the original line of scrimmage, so that'll set up a 3rd and 10 for Providence at their own 25-yard line. 4:06 and counting in the opening period. Milan with the 7-0 lead. They have twin wide receivers to the near side, one up top. Snap back to Fondrisi, looking, firing in the near side, and caught at the 30-yard line, well short of the necessary yardage for the first down. And the receiver on that was Trevor Unruh, a 5'8", 165-pound senior wideout, but well defended on the painted numbers. And once again, another 3 and out for the Providence Pioneers.
Well, Milan living in third and long defensively, and that's exactly, I think, for both defenses where you want to be tonight. Neither offense has that prolific of a passing game. They both want to run the football, Milan more so, but if you can get this Providence offense in third and long, you're in business.
And the kick, and it's going to be fielded and coming up, and you got to let it bounce, and it's going to be out the 43-yard line. So Milan deciding to let it roll, and they'll get excellent field position at their own 43-yard line to start out, leading 7-0 with 3:15 to go in this opening period. Tonight's game brought to you in part by Beck Properties, Ison's Family Pizza, and Great Plains Communications.
After that opening kickoff, where it's more of an onside kick, since then it's been all Milan in the field position game as well. You pin Providence inside their own 25 on their ensuing drive. Now you get to start on the 43-yard line, and that's a big deal here for an offense like Milan that wants to run the ball, control the clock, getting to start on short fields. It's huge.
Indians up to the line of scrimmage, and operating out of the shotgun is Marsh. Swings it left side and caught by Grant Langfordman. Langfordman got to get to across the 45 all the way down into Pioneer territory, and he's got to get across the 43 down to the 43-yard line, pick up a 13 on the play, and we've got another timeout that's going to be taken by Providence. So they've taken 2 timeouts already with 3:07 to go in this opening period.
Yeah, you can tell. I couldn't tell which coach it was. One of them is not very happy, and I think the message right now in that huddle, watch for number 2. Yeah. Their offense goes through number 2, and he's done a lot of damage so far. And right there, Langfordman, not on the ground. You use kind of that quick passing game into the flat as an extension of your running game, get some lead blockers in front. And he's able to turn the corner, and just like that, you're in plus territory again.
So a 1st and 10 for the Milan Indians at the Pioneer 42-yard line. Tonight's game brought to you in part by Franklin County Farmers Mutual Insurance, Hurt and Elko, and Randall Equipment. So whatever needed to be said was said by Coach McDonald and the company on the near sideline, and they're back out. And Ryan Langfordman across the way discharging his troops, and they'll line it up with a 1st and 10 at the Providence 42-yard line. They have one wide receiver split to the near side. That is Micah Norman. Operating out of the gun, under center is Marsh, and they're going to hand it off, go up the middle, and getting a couple down to the 37-yard line, so pick up a 5 on the play on that one.
Well, my background is in baseball, so that was kind of like you throw curveball, 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 curveball. And then you're sitting as a hitter, you're sitting on a curveball, and then here comes a fastball. That was Josh Pettit, 5'11", 200 pounds, going right downhill. And not a huge gain on the play, but about 6 yards, sets up a second and manageable. That's just where Milan wants to live.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, Beckett last week against North Decatur picked up a lot of those gritty yards, those dirty yards, if you will, did Josh Pettit, the 5'11", 200-pound senior running back, plays more of a fullback position. Marsh under center. Handed off, and it got to be a fumble recovery, and a bad exchange there between quarterback and running back. And coming up with the fumble recovery for the Pioneers is Ben Stevens, a 5'11", 170-pound sophomore linebacker. And a bad exchange between Marsh and Grant Langfordman. Langfordman could not get a handle on it. And able to come up with it was Stevens on the fumble recovery.
Looked like a similar play to the last drive, that big explosive run that got him by the goal line. That time, exchange is dirty. A little bit of life now for Providence.
So Nico Fondrisi, the sophomore quarterback, back to throw, looking, has all kinds of time, looking to the near side, and beyond the hands of his intended receiver, he was looking to go to Hudson Lannon. And well defended there for the Milan Indians. Micah Norman back defensively for Milan. So incomplete pass about the third or fourth one we've seen out of Fondrisi so far tonight, so that'll be a 2nd and 10 for Providence at their own 39-yard line.
Just a simple go ball right there. A little bit too much on it from Fondrisi.
2 wide receivers up top. Out of the shotgun is Fondrisi. Has one on his hip, looking, firing, and goes over the middle, and is caught at the 50-yard line. And getting into Milan territory is number 8, Jacob Evans, a 6'3", 180-pound senior wide receiver. He just went over the middle and planted himself, and the first down of the night for Providence. And it's out the Milan 48-yard line.
Well, the vertical passing game not getting a whole lot done, so you run a little slant there. Big target there at 6'3", like you said. Just throw it up there, let him go up and make a catch and run for you. And that's, like you said, first down for Providence, and a little bit of life there for the men in the blue shirts.
They have 3 wides up to the top, 1 to the near side. Fondrisi operating out of the shotgun. Back to throw, looking, has protection, and goes to the left side and incomplete. And he was going for Jacob Evans. And just a little bit too much mustard on that. It seemed like he's got too much air underneath his passes.
Maybe a little bit wound up.
Yeah.
Might be.
Yeah.
It's a little bit counterintuitive, but played with a quarterback like that my freshman year who'd be a little bit wound up starting off games. So our offensive coordinator would actually call a play for him to run and get hit. So he'd kind of settle into the game. But Fondrisi a little amped up, it looks like, early on.
2nd and 10, Providence at the Milan 48-yard line. Fondrisi will hand it off, and going right up the middle, simple dive and getting to the 45, and that's it. Several white-shirted defenders there by the whole gaggle of Milan Indians, and that was Caleb Sipes, who wears 0, and gets some positive yardage out of that. Richardson on the stop for the Milan Indians, among others. Also getting in on there was Levi Pierce and Colby Bushhorn.
Well, Milan's definitely had the advantage in the trenches early on. Not a whole lot doing on the ground for Providence here in the first quarter.
3rd and 7. Take the handoff. They go on the misdirection and going right up the middle and a couple of yards shy of the first down, but getting it into the Milan 41-yard line. So Sipes and also J.J. Mutz in on the stop for the Milan Indians. So it's going to be a 4th and manageable. So Daniel McDonald and company are going to go for it. I mean, you're in plus territory. Why not try and keep the drive alive? And the Providence showing some life on this drive after a couple of 3-and-outs. Snap back, hand it off, going right up the middle, across the 45, and necessary yardage for the first down by 1. Is the ball carrier for the Pioneers, and that is number 21, Lincoln Kruer. He picked up, he needed 3, he picked up 4, so a first down for the Providence Pioneers at the Milan Indian 37-yard line. 2 wides up top, operating out of the shotgun is Nico Fondrisi, the sophomore quarterback, 1 wide to his hip. He goes up in the middle, off the hands of the intended receiver, and take it all the way down to the 10-yard line. A deflection there. Micah Norman had it momentarily, and it bounced into the hands of the receiver for the Providence Pioneers. And coming up with that was Trevor Unruh, and Unruh stumbled forward to the 10-yard line. And that's going to do it for the first quarter. So your score after 1 period, Milan 7, Providence nothing, but the Pioneers threatening. We'll be back with second quarter action after this 30-second timeout on the WRBI app.
Simmer and sear with confidence using a Maytag freestanding electric range with 5 elements, including a 9-inch and 6-inch dual choice element, variable broil, and warming center. You can knock out mealtime in no time. The steam clean cycle and fingerprint resistant stainless steel finish makes it easy to keep clean inside and out. Shop Gehrings today. Gehrings in Maytag, 316 North Main, Batesville.
Southeastern Indiana's sports voice, WRBI.
1 quarter is in the books in this Class 1A Regional 24 Championship. The Milan Indians leading the Providence Pioneers 7-0. However, Providence is threatening. They have a 1st and 10 at the Milan 11-yard line on a deflection catch for the Pioneers by Lincoln Kerr coming up with that off the deflection. Micah Norman almost coming up with that interception. Pioneers up to the line of scrimmage. Fondrisi operating out of the shotgun. He's going to hand it off and getting to the 10, and that is it. Just a pickup of 1 yard on the play, and the ball carrier was Sipes. So Sipes only getting 1 out of it. That'll set up a 2nd and 10. Levi Pierce in on the tackle for the Milan Indians.
He's had a busy night. Zane Richardson, the nose tackle there, just taking up space. Not a whole lot up there for Providence in terms of seams to hit for this running game.
Snap back to throw. Fondrisi firing and over the head of his intended receiver. And he was looking to get Pete Lannon. He tried to go right side with it. He was bracketed by a couple of Indian defenders. So that's going to be a 3rd and 10 for the Providence Pioneers. So 3rd and 9 actually at the 10-yard line. 11:24 to go here in the second quarter. Milan with the 7-0 lead. However, Providence is threatening.
Would imagine if you can get this anywhere near the first down marker, you're looking at 4-down territory for Providence right here.
Snap back to Fondrisi and hand it off and tried to go off to the left side with it. Nothing doing there. It was intended for Jacob Evans. It was an incomplete pass, so a 4th down.
Looked like just a little whip route there from Evans. Going to start in, hit the foot, and then redirect, go back to the outside. And I think the throw may be a touch early. And it's off the mark there, and looks like they're going to go for it anyway.
So 4th and 9 at the 10-yard line. Fondrisi operating out of the shotgun. Snap back, looking, firing right side in the corner of the end zone. No good. Defended by Micah Norman. And it looked like he was trying to get number 3, Trevor Unruh. And Norman defending might have deflected it to operate. Messed up the trajectory of the pass. So the Indians will take over on downs. And this is something that they did last week against North Decatur rather effectively, Max.
Well, Micah Norman almost had interception number 6 on the year, that deflected pass that got Providence down into scoring range. So he wanted to make up for that. Got a hand on that ball going up the ladder to knock the pass away. So keeping that lead intact.
So it'll be a 1st and 10 for Milan at their own 10-yard line. So they have 90 yards to go to pay dirt. Wyatt Marsh under center, tight formation. Some pre-snap movement. And they'll go right up the middle and get some breathing room on that one.
Tough to tell exactly on that end of the field, but again, Milan winning in the trenches. Middle of the field has been open for them on the ground.
Josh Pettit was the ball carrier on that one. So Pettit doing the dirty work, if you will, from kind of a fullback type runner. So it's going to be a pickup of 7 on the play. It'll be 2nd and 3, Milan at their own 17-yard line as they huddle up. And now 14 seconds left on the play clock. Norman split to the near side. Everybody else bunched in. They'll send a man in motion. A lot of pre-snap motion for the Indians. And they'll run it right side, getting out and they clear to the 50, the 45, to the 40, and taken down inside Providence territory, all the way down to the Pioneer 33. And they run that to the right side and rather effectively once again attacking that perimeter as they did last week against North Decatur, and all the way down to the Providence 33-yard line.
Well, that was Marsh on the keeper, just a little quarterback sweep. And this Milan offense, they're run heavy, kind of a wing T concepts that they like to mix in. But this isn't just a 3 yards in a cloud of dust type of team. They've had at least one rush of 50-plus yards in 6 games this year. And in each of their last 5, they've had a 50-yard rush, and already a couple of real explosive plays on the ground tonight.
Norman split to the near side. Operating underneath center is Marsh. A pre-snap motion and hand it off, going right up the middle and getting it down and still on his feet. And they're going to finally whistle him dead at the 29-yard line. And that was Josh Pettit, the ball carrier once again. That's the man you need to that they go to when you need those tough yardage up the middle. And he struggled forward and got it down to the 29-yard line, picked up 4 on the play. It'll be 2nd and 6.
Well, those explosive plays not usually going to come on the fullback dive to Josh Pettit, but they're picking up between 4 and 6 yards every time they run it. That is a big-time success getting into 2nd and manageable.
And once again, that pre-snap motion, once again, of course, that confused North Decatur and doing it effectively here against Providence. Direct snap to Beckett Langferman. He runs right side, bounces it outside the painted numbers, and he'll get it inside the 30, and he'll pick up a couple on the play. He'll take it down to the 33-yard line.
One of the first times tonight that Providence has been able to set an edge and not let that play either bounce outside or cut back against the grain and hit a big seam. So a good job there to give him a chance to get off the field on a 3rd and about 5.
Noah Frossard in on the stop for the Pioneers, and he is a 5'10", 185-pound senior defensive back, lines up in the linebacker position. 3rd and 5, Milan at the Providence 28-yard line. Send a man in motion, and we've got a penalty marker, and I believe that's going to be a false start. Legal procedural against the Indians because of all the pre-snap motion and a little too fast out of the gate, if you will. So that's going to be the first penalty of the night against either ball club.
That's a killer right there. You go from a 3rd and 5, 3rd and 4, something like that, to looks like it's going to be 3rd and the full 10 now. So putting yourself from a 3rd and manageable into a 3rd and long.
So the ball marked back at the 33-yard line of Providence. Indians break the huddle. Norman split to the near side, everybody else in tight. Under center is Marsh. Now he backs out. Once again, that pre-snap movement once again. Now Norman moves to the top of the formation. And got hand go up the middle, and tough sledding there. Able to get it down to the 29-yard line. Once again, that is Josh Pettit, the ball carrier. Looked like more of a direct snap. All kinds of movement back there by the Indians, and so we saw a lot of that last week in the sectional championship game against North Decatur. So that's going to set up a 4th and 6, Milan, at the Providence 29-yard line. The offense remains on the field.
Yeah, just kind of in no man's land here. Too close to the goal line to punt. Don't really have a long-range kicking option, so roll the dice, see what happens.
Marsh out of the shotgun, looking. He's going to roll to the right side. He's going to bounce outside the numbers. He's going to get more than that. He's going to get it along the Benson for a touchdown. Wyatt Marsh with the quarterback keeper. He saw that perimeter opening up and ran it outside the numbers, ran it along the sidelines and into the end zone for the touchdown. A 28-yard touchdown run for Wyatt Marsh. And Marsh now with 11 touchdown runs on the season.
Looked like it was supposed to be a pass, and the pressure from Providence got there pretty quickly, so Marsh, decisive, pulls the ball down, gets to the edge.
And on for the extra point is up. And it is good by Nick Voss. So your score with 7:03 to go in the second period, the Milan Indians 14. The Providence Pioneers nothing. Back in 30 seconds on the WRBI app.
While you're cheering on your hometown team, Angel Beck with Beck Properties Group eXp Realty is helping you score big in real estate. Looking to buy or sell in southeastern Indiana? Angel makes selling your home fast and finding your dream home easy. With target marketing, local expertise, and personalized service, Angel helps sellers get top dollar and finds buyers homes before they even hit the market. Visit sellingyourpropertyformore.com. Sellingyourpropertyformore.com. Angel Beck, taking above and beyond to the next level.
Your free source for local sports. WRBI.
On a 4th and 6, Wyatt Marsh with a quarterback keeper ran to the outside, a 28-yard touchdown run. The extra point is good by Nick Voss. And the Milan Indians come into Clarksville, and they open up a 14-0 lead on the Providence Pioneers, the defending state champs in Class 1A. But again, as Coach McDonald alluded to in his interview, he's got a young team. and worried about the turnover game, but that has not come to play. As far as Providence is concerned, Milan has turned it over once already on a fumble. So Voss getting ready to kick off for the third time tonight. And this game is brought to you in part by Bruns Gutsweiler, the Reservation Restaurant, and Napoleon State Bank.
Mentioned it there. Got a young team here at Providence. We talked about this in the pregame. It's great that you have a young team, a lot of talent, but with that inexperience and that youth, this November air can be a little bit tough to breathe. We'll see how they respond down 14.
A high kick gets fielded at the 20, and he bounces it inside the hash marks and gets it across the 25, and taken down at the 27-yard line is the return man for the Providence Pioneers. And as Lannon, the return man, and she's a little shaken up as he gets up, looked like holding the shoulder. Actually, the check that is actually number 57. That is Jorge Reyes-Niños. So, of course, he's one of the linchpins on both offense and defense. And I give you this, holding his shoulder just a little bit. He's getting tended to on the sidelines here. So Nico Fondrizzi, the sophomore quarterback, out of the shotgun, fires it, and somebody getting a hand up on that one, and it looked like that was J.J. Mutz reaching up there and sticking that big paw up there and knocking the pass incomplete.
Well, that's a big play. They looked like the tight end on just a little 4 or 5 yard out. Had plenty of room to run after the catch, but there was no catch to be made because the ball got batted at the line of scrimmage.
So 2nd and 10. Providence at their own 27-yard line, trailing Milan 14-0. 6:55 to go in the second quarter. Clock stopped on the incomplete pass, of course. Two wides to the near side. Fondrizzi with a running back on his right hip. Snap back to him, looking, firing, and going up top with it. And caught at the 50, the 45, and taken down at the 40. And going to be wrestled down by Micah Norman. And the receiver on that one was number 2, Noah Leeser. So Leeser, the 6'6", 190-pound junior, one of those tall wide receivers that Providence had. He just reached up for it and took it down all the way to the Milan 40.
Well, this is just good on good. Leeser, 316 yards, 4 touchdowns, as he said, 6'6". Tough to guard, working on Micah Norman there. Norman was in good position, just a good throw and catch.
And handed off, and running up the middle is Kalen Sipes. And Sipes will get it inside the 40 to the 38. So he'll pick up 2, and that'll be Grant Lankford in on the stop for the Milan Indians. So it'll be 2nd and 8, Providence at the Milan 38. So finally something positive for the Providence offense.
Yeah, they've been a lot more pass happy than they usually are here. They're about 2-to-1 run to pass on the season. They've been airing it out so far.
Fondrizzi out of the shotgun, looking, firing it up top, and trying to go to the near side. We've got a penalty marker, and it's going to be some holding. That'll be whistled on that play. He was looking to go to Lanning, but nothing doing again, holding. So we'll see what that's all about. And it will be against the Providence Pioneers.
Is an ineligible man downfield. That's what, okay.
Yeah, that makes sense because that was thrown well short of where the play was developing downfield, down around the 30-yard line. It was closer to the end, around inside the 10 was where that play was developing. But, yeah, that makes total sense. So an ineligible man downfield.
Well, the official, and the reason I thought it was a hold on a defensive hold, looked like there was a little out and up, a double move. Thought that maybe a defensive back got a little bit handsy, and the official on the near side when he threw the flag was a good ways downfield, but somebody on the offensive line there got a little bit overzealous. Got more than 2-3 yards downfield, and now it's a 3rd and long.
3rd and 8. Providence at the Milan 38-yard line. Fondrizzi operating out of the pistol. Will hand it off to Sipes. Sipes goes up the middle. Nothing doing there. Well defended by the Indians. J.J. Mutz, among others, getting up off the bottom of the pile along with Colby Bushhorn.
Well, I talked about how pass-happy Providence has been so far, and I don't think it has anything to do necessarily with the score. You're not going to abandon the running game in the first half, but they're just not getting anything on the ground so far.
Lucas Hensley also in on the tackle for the Milan Indians, a 5'11", 245-pound junior. Fondrizzi out of the shotgun. Snap back to him, looking, sets up, fires to the right side, and it is caught at the 5 in the end zone. Touchdown. No signal yet. And they're going to say, look like they're going to say he's out of bounds at the 1 yard line. The receiver was Jacob Evans. So Evans came up with that reception. And what a pass there by Fondrisi. Put it right on the money. And they will say he was out of bounds around the 5 yard line.
Got to roughen the passer as well behind the play, so it'll push it a little bit closer, and they just keep on chucking these deep balls, and that's one thing that Providence can lean on. They have a height advantage pretty much everywhere on the field, especially out wide, and they've been very aggressive pushing the ball downfield. Or are they saying
they did? They did say it was a touchdown pass, and roughing the passer to boot.
I believe that would be enforced on the kickoff.
Yes,
my rules. They've got my rules down.
Yeah, that's what they will do. Now all kinds of confusion by the Providence Pioneers. And it is a 38-yard touchdown pass. Fondrisi hitting Evans. So the Providence Pioneers get on the board. It is 14-6, pending the extra point with 5:15 to go in the second quarter. And on for the extra point attempt will be Gabriel Bermudez. And he is 1 out of 4 on PATs this year. Their regular kicker is out with a concussion. Snap back, the kick is up, and the kick is right down Broadway. And with that, it is now a 7-point ball game. The Milan Indians 14, the Providence Pioneers 7. Back in 30 seconds on the WRBI app.
It's back. Our delicious chicken bruschetta pizza is back. Cecil Eisen from Eisen's Family Pizza in downtown Batesville. The savory pizza with white garlic sauce, seasoned chicken, mozzarella provolone cheese, tomatoes, and fresh basil, all on our fresh in-house made dough. Come try this or any of Batesville's best pizza at 117 East George Street, IsonsFamilyPizza.com, 812-933-0333. Ison's Family Pizza's famous chicken bruschetta pizza is back.
The most and best high school sports is on WRBI.
Tonight's game brought to you in part by Hummel Winters Insurance, Ivy Tech Community College, and Gehrings. Nico Fondrisi, a 38-yard touchdown pass to Jacob Evans. The extra point was good by Gabriel Bermudez. 5:15 to go before halftime, and it is now a 14-7 ball game. Milan on top of Providence. A score from our other game around the area is East Central and New Palestine tied at 6 at the half. And, of course, Lawrenceburg and Cascade just getting underway here just a few minutes ago. So Providence putting together something offensively, a big pass at midfield, and a touchdown pass, the 38-yarder from Fondrisi to Evans. And Bermudez advances on the ball, is picked up and taken at inside the 20 and cutting to the near side to the 25 to the 30 and slipping at shy of the 35-yard line. The return man for the Indians, that is Lane Smith, a 5'7", 135-pound freshman. He's a backup quarterback and defensive back, but looked like he had all kinds of daylight there, but slipped before he got to the 35.
Looked like he tripped over that 35-yard line.
It did. Yeah, they're going to give him credit. They're going to mark it at the 36. So they said his forward progress was enough before he lost his footing. So Milan with decent field positioning to start out with 5:07 to go before the break. They lead at 14-7. See what kind of answer the Milan offense has after Providence able to get something going for the first time tonight after a couple of 3-and-outs in their first series. Wyatt Marsh under center and hands it off, going up the middle and getting across the 40 to the 41-yard line. And that is Josh Pettit. So Pettit running right up the middle, right up the gut, and picking up a good chunk of yards there. We're going to pick up 5 on the play, so it'll be a 2nd and 5 for the Indians at their own 41-yard line.
That little fullback dive, it's been there all night, 5 more yards, and this is a big opportunity for Milan. They get the ball out of the half, got about 5 minutes left on the clock. If you manage it right, you could be in a spot where you can score here, not leave any time for Providence, and then get the ball back to start the third.
And Marsh, the quarterback sneak, and he's going to run it up right up the middle behind those big road graders. And he's going to be shy by a yard of the first down as he gets it to the 45-yard line. Good push up front by the Milan offensive line.
Coach Langferman said it in the pregame, where Providence has a little bit more length, a little bit, some more 6'1s and 6'2s. Milan's got a little bit more girth, and it's showing up in between the tackles. They're getting great push in the middle of the field.
3rd and 1, Milan at their own 45-yard line. They lead at 14-7. Micah Norman split up top. Marsh under center. And hand it off, fake it up the middle, and running across the 45 and getting the first down yardage. And keeper on the right side for Marsh. And in on the stop was Jorge Reyes Nino, the sophomore linebacker, but not before fresh set of downs for the Milan Indians.
Done a really good job getting themselves into 3rd and 4th and manageable right there. And remember hearing Kirby Smart one week, the head coach at Georgia, they were asking him about how poor his defense had performed on 3rd down. He said, well, the reason they're so bad on 3rd down is because it's always 3rd and 1, 3rd and 2. You're not supposed to stop them.
That's right.
Got to do a better job. Got to do a better job on 1st and 2nd down if you're Providence here.
1st and 10, Milan at their own 48-yard line. Handed off to Beckett Langferman. Langferman rolls it out to the right side, out on the hash marks, and he's going to pick up 4 on the play. He'll get it into Providence territory down to the Pioneer 47-yard line.
It's almost like that saying in baseball, how do you hit a really good curveball? You don't miss the fastball. You're not supposed to hit it. You're not supposed to get stops on 3rd and 1, so Milan doing a really good job putting themselves in position to extend these drives, and might be time to start cranking up the tempo a little bit down near 2.5 minutes in the half.
2nd and 5, Milan at the Providence 47-yard line. Norman split to the near side. They'll send Langferman in motion, and penalty marker before the play gets going, and that's going to be a false start against the Indians.
Looked like somebody there on that right side of the offensive line got an early start.
Yeah, as I like to say, got out of the blocks a little too fast. So that's going to back them up. A second penalty of the night for the Indians, both of them offensive penalties.
Yeah, a couple of procedural penalties. This one not quite as much of a backbreaker as their last one. They had one on a 3rd and 5. This one you can recover from a little bit easier because it's just 2nd down.
Yep, 2nd and 10. Ball in the Milan territory at the 48-yard line as the Indians break the huddle. Norman split up top. Indians going from right to left. Marsh under center. And go up the middle. And running off to the right of the formation, off to the right tackle. And getting it into Providence territory is Langferman, the ball carrier. And Reyes Nino, and Providence is going to call their last timeout. It comes with 1:44 to go in the second quarter, trailing Milan 14-7 in this regional championship, Max.
Interesting strategy there from Daniel McDonald, trying to save a little bit of time if they get a stop here. And look, if you get a stop, it's great. Your offense has shown the ability to hit some of those downfield passes. But if Milan's able to pick up this first down, you just really help them out. So a little bit of a risk here, but I think knowing that Milan's getting the ball out of half, that played a big part in that decision to punch that last time out here with still 1:40 on the clock.
Tonight's game brought to you in part by Beck Properties, Ison's Family Pizza, and Great Plains Communications. And, of course, keeping you up to date on some of the other games around the area, regional action. Again, we have East Central and New Palestine at Trojan Field in St. Leon tied at 6 at the half. Also a first quarter score, Lawrenceburg and Cascade tied at 7 apiece at the pit in Tigertown in Lawrenceburg. The Cascade Cadets, undefeated, number 1 in Class 3A coming into the pit. And the Lawrenceburg Tigers of Coach Ryan Kaniga standing toe-to-toe with them at this point. 3rd and 5, snap back to Marsh, is going to keep it. And going to run it to the right side. He's going to be close to the necessary yardage for the first down. And he will pick up the first down.
It's a huge play right there. At the very least, it all but guarantees, barring a turnover, that Providence isn't going to touch the ball with any significant amount of time left here in the half.
Clock stopped at 1:38 as they move the sticks. Tonight's game also brought to you in part by Franklin County Farmers Mutual Insurance, Hurt and Elko, and Randall Equipment. Indians huddling up. Now they break it with 13 seconds remaining on the play clock. Norman split up top. Marsh under center. Now pre-snap movement. Fake the handoff and rolling out to his left, looking and going to look some more under some pressure. And Marsh is going to be tripped up in the backfield. That's going to be a sack. Pete Lannon with the tackle for the Providence Pioneers. He has 11 tackles for loss, now 8 sacks on the season.
Just good effort. Didn't win his pass rush rep. I think the play action there really sucked in the defense, had him thinking it would be a run. So Lannon wasn't in a great spot to make a sack there, but didn't give up on the play. Good pursuit and a well-earned 8th sack on the year, best on the team.
2nd and 12, Milan. Back at the Providence 44-yard line. Marsh going to hand it off and going right up the middle and got a little bit of daylight and gave it up to Pettit, and he took it down to the Providence 38-yard line.
Down to 15 seconds in the half. Might just see Coach Langfordman punch a timeout here and have him heave one to the end zone before halftime.
So the Indians taking their time, melting the play clock and the game clock, and that is going to be it. So
I think they called timeout.
Yeah, they had 0 showing on the clock. However, both teams are staying out there. So I think you're right.
If
Max.
He didn't call timeout, he pump faked me. It looked like he said and signaled something to the official there on the far side.
Yeah, so that will be so Ryan Langfordman will use his a timeout. That's the only one he'll use. So they'll put 1 second back on the clock. But this little chess game going on here, like going Max.
Yeah, I think again. So many of these decisions here at the end of the half, I think being based off the fact that Milan's getting the ball out of the locker room to start the third quarter. I think if Providence was receiving the second half kickoff, you might see a little bit more aggression from Milan trying to score, but I think they're really happy with where they are in the game. Gave up a couple of big plays, but they've still been the better team here through the first half, so don't want to do anything dumb to hand away momentum before the half. Play it safe, take a shot to the end zone, and see what happens.
All right. 3rd and 7, Milan at the Providence 38-yard line. 1 second remaining in the half. They lead it 14-7. Marsh out of the shotgun, claps his hands, fakes the handoff, and rolls off to his right. Bounces between the hash marks and takes it all the way down and taken out at the 25-yard line. And that is going to do it for the first half in this Class 1A Regional 24 Championship game. It is the visiting Milan Indians 14, the Providence Pioneers 7. Back with halftime activities after this 2-minute timeout. You're listening to high school football on the WRBI app.
Go stream, go work, go game. No matter what you do online, we've got you. Great Plains Communications. Super fast, reliable internet built for the way you live, work, and play. Powered by our expanding fiber network, local call centers, technicians, technical support, and over a century of experience, we ensure your connection is fast, reliable, and stress-free. Go make the switch to Great Plains Communications today. And remember, for all the ways you live online, we've got you.
Franklin County Farmers Mutual Insurance at 125 Main Street in Brookville was founded in 1900. And they're not just for farmers. Get your auto and home insurance through Franklin County Farmers Mutual Insurance Company too. Visit their website at fcfminsurance.org. Looking for a local insurance company with local agents? Look no further. Franklin County Farmers Mutual Insurance. Not just for farmers.
When looking for the highest standard of HVAC service and care, turn to Hurt and Elko, your local Lennox Premier dealer. Hurt and Elko and their premier dealer status means you're certain to be working with a company who has the highest level of training, professionalism, and customer satisfaction. For a limited time, they're offering up to $1,900 in rebates on a brand new Lennox system or finance with low monthly payments. Call Hurt and Elko today at 812-934-4646 or visit them online at hurt-elko.com to learn more. Conditions apply. See dealer for details.
Family owned and operated, Randall Equipment Company takes pride in helping neighbors get the right tools for the job. You'll find Bad Boy mowers, Coyote tractors, and Vermeer hay equipment, backed by people who actually use what they sell. From routine service to serious upgrades, they keep your machines working hard, running right, and built to last season after season. Randall Equipment Company. Honest work, quality gear, and a simple truth. Business is good.
Southeastern Indiana's sports voice, WRBI.
It is halftime at Murphy Field on the campus of Our Lady of Providence High School in Clarksville. And it is the visiting Milan Indians with a 14-7 lead over the Providence Pioneers. Grant Langfordman with a 3-yard touchdown run with 5:12 to go in the opening quarter. Nick Voss added the extra point. And this after Milan on the had the ball, won the toss, but deferred to the second half. And they held Providence to a 3-and-out. Milan marched it downfield. And then they got back on the board with 7:03 to go in the second quarter. Wyatt Marsh, a 28-yard touchdown run on a 4th and 6 play as he bounced it outside and ran it along the sideline. Voss added the extra point, and it was 14-0. And then Providence, after a couple of 3-and-outs early on, started showing some life. They started getting some things together offensively. And Nico Fondrizi, a 38-yard touchdown pass to Jacob Evans. Gabriel Bermudez added the extra point. And that's where things stand at the half. The Milan Indians 14, the Providence Pioneers 7.
Well, I think the biggest play in the game right now is that Wyatt Marsh touchdown run. You have a 4th and medium. You're kind of in no man's land. You can't kick a field goal from there. You really don't want to punt from the 30-yard line, so you just roll the dice and go for it. And it looked like it was well defended initially. Could be wrong, could have been a designed run, but looked like he was dropping back and about to try and throw the football, and then very, very quickly pulled it down, got around the right edge and scored. And now you've got a 2-score lead, and kind of just the style that both of these teams play, but Milan especially, they shorten the game. They take away, or they limit possessions. Lots of time off the clock each time they have the ball. You're not going to have a whole lot of opportunity to put up point. You know, it's not like the old Big 12 where the games are 66-60.
Thank goodness. Editorial comment.
Not basketball on grass. So a 2-score lead, even in the first half, is a big deal. And that really, you know, you land the first punch with that early touchdown, you have some momentum, but once you go up 2 scores, it feels like you really have a chokehold on the game. And Providence, to their credit, they've made a couple of explosive plays. Now, they haven't really shown the ability so far tonight to sustain drives. It's kind of been big explosive play here, big explosive play there. Their touchdown, also a huge play. That was on a 4th down. You think about where this game could be if that's an incompletion. And now Milan starting on the 40-yard line with how much time was left there? 5 minutes to go in the half. So there have been some real momentum swinging plays, but I'd say right now Milan's controlled the game, and this is exactly what you would want as the road team, the underdog here in a playoff game against the defending state champs.
And I'll tell you what, another big play early on, the Grant Langfordman touchdown early on. The fact that Providence had them on, had kept Milan out of the end zone. You had the fans here in front of us. They were in full throat, and you thought, man, this game could swing the other way. And Milan able to punch it in on the early going there.
Absolutely. I mean, you have the opening kickoff. We're going to call it an onside kick to the 50-yard line. Providence starts there, and you're kind of, they're starting already at midfield, but your defense bows its neck, gets a 3-and-out. Hit a couple of explosive plays on the ground to get you down inside the 10, goal to go. And Providence's defense, to their credit, forces a 4th and goal. And just good hard running there by Langfordman in between the tackles to get to the goal line and draw first blood there.
All right, so halftime activities continue on here at Murphy Stadium on the campus of Providence High School. Again, it is Milan with a 14-7 lead over Providence in this Class 1A Regional 24 Championship. Some other scores around the area, and last score we had from our other game on WRBI tonight, East Central and New Palestine tied 6-6 at the half. Rob Moorhead and Jerry Stanger, your congenial announcers for that one. And at the pit, the Lawrenceburg Tigers have gone up on the Cascade Cadets 14-7. That one in the opening period. And some other games that we're keeping track of as well as far as potential opponents in the semi-state round. And you have South Putnam with a 19-6 lead over Sheraton. That one in the third quarter. And the winner of that one would get the winner of this contest. And East Central and New Pal, the winner of that game, would get the winner between Bloomington South and Floyd Central. And it is all Panthers in that one. Bloomington South 27, Floyd Central 7. So we'll keep you updated on scores throughout the evening. And, of course, we'll also have them posted on our website when things wrap up this evening on WRBIRadio.com. And we now have a update on the East Central game, Lawrenceburg game. Cascade has tied it up at 14 apiece. So Lawrenceburg and Cascade tied at 14 in the first quarter at the pit. So with that, we're going to go ahead and catch our breath and take a look at the second half and what we can expect to see in the second half. And again, your score in this regional championship game, the Milan Indians 14, the Providence Pioneers 7. We're going to go ahead and step aside for a 60-second timeout. You're listening to High School Football on the WRBI app.
The Reservation in Milan celebrates gathering families with delicious, affordable cooking in a warm, welcoming atmosphere. This local favorite serves up heartfelt meals and true small-town hospitality. Open Monday through Saturday from 7 a.m. till 8 p.m., the Reservation invites guests of all ages to slow down and enjoy real comfort food. Southeastern Indiana knows good eats, and the Reservation in Milan is celebrating 40 years of proving it. With friendly service and flavor that feels like home.
Big news from the Napoleon State Bank. Your debit card just got an upgrade.
Wait, what? Yep, now you can add your Napoleon State Bank debit card to Apple Pay, Google Wallet, Samsung Pay, and Garmin Pay now.
Tap it, pay it, done. No more digging through your wallet. Just a simple, secure, and speedy way to pay. Upgrade your wallet today. Add your Napoleon State Bank debit card to Apple Pay, Google Wallet, Samsung Pay, and Garmin Pay now. The Napoleon State Bank. No wallet, no problem. Locally owned since 1903. Member FDIC.
Your free source for local sports. WRBI.
Halftime continues at Providence High School as the Milan Indians over the Providence Pioneers, 14-7 at the half in this Class 1A Regional 24 Championship contest. Along with on-site engineer Annie Nunley and my partner tonight, Max Abel. I'm Tom Snape. And Max, what do you expect to see in the second half?
Well, we'll see what type of adjustments you're able to make here at the half. I think that's always kind of an overrated thing, halftime adjustments. You could make adjustments whenever you want to. It doesn't have to just be at halftime. So if you're Milan, though, more of the same. Maybe you make a couple of tweaks here and there to try and limit some of these downfield shots, maybe a little bit of safety help on these big, tall receivers, because it's kind of been a lot of one-on-one, and that's a really tough place to be as a cornerback out on the island. But offensively, Milan, just keep doing what you're doing. You're running the football really well. You're getting some explosive plays on the ground, but you're also getting those body blows, those 5, 6, 7-yard runs in between the tackle that allow you to control the clock, limit possessions, and slowly, methodically get down the field. For Providence, I think you might challenge your defense's physicality, your offense's physicality here. You're getting pushed around between the tackles. You're going to have to be able to run the football here in the second half. You can't just rely on these 40, 50-yard passing plays. So they're going to have to try and figure out a way to get some footing here in the trenches.
Yeah, and you mentioned the height differential, and that, of course, set up. Providence's one touchdown, catch at the midfield where you had a tall receiver coming up over, had the height advantage on the Milan defender.
Mm-hmm. Well, Micah Norman's actually done, I think, a really good job. He's allowed a couple of catches defensively, but he's kind of, as I said, he's kind of been out on an island. They're telling him, hey, you're our best athlete defensively. You're going to be on one of their big, tall receivers. He's done a nice job. There was a play where he probably should have had an interception, and he kind of ran into the receiver. Ball got popped up into the air and fell right into the receiver's lap for a big gain. But he's done a nice job. Maybe you think about, again, maybe a little bit of safety help over the top, but outside of that, I mean, they played really well defensively. Like I said earlier, Providence hasn't really sustained drives. It's been just those big plays. So for Milan, more of the same, a couple of tweaks here and there, but they're in a really, really good spot here tonight. And not to mention, you have a 7-point lead. You're -1 in the turnover battle as well.
Yeah, indeed. And, of course, that's something that both coaches talked about, the turnover battle, the turnover ratio, and the fact that it was just the one. And luckily for Milan, it did not end up hurting them.
Yeah, that's one more kind of talking point that you can bring up is Milan's defense, despite a couple of drives, obviously the opening drive, that drive off the turnover starting at or around midfield, tough field position defensively, they've been able to bow up and force punts and turnover on downs.
All right, so halftime activities continue here, and nobody from either team except for the kicker, that is Bermudez for the Providence Pioneers out on the field. So, but yeah, pretty good crowd here in front of us from the Providence folks. Talked to some folks before, then they hosted a sectional semifinal on Halloween. The crowd was down that night because of trick-or-treating. So imagine that. But and Milan brought a good smattering of folks, made the trip from Ripley County down here about 2 hours away. So it's a 2-hour drive both ways, and Four in total in case you're keeping score at home. But,
well, I know from my not-so-illustrious playing career, it was always cool to go out on the road, especially in a big game that's a good distance away, an hour, 2 hours away, and see a big traveling contingent. And Milan definitely brought some folks with them here tonight.
All right, so things continue on here, and now the Indians emerge from the locker room. They have the white jerseys with the black pants and the black helmets, and the black numerals trimmed in Vegas gold. And momentarily, we should see the Providence Pioneers coming out of their locker room. They have the navy jerseys with the white and Vegas gold trim, white helmets, and white pants. So with that, we're going to go ahead and step aside for another 60-second timeout. Again, your score at the half, the Milan Indians 14, the Providence Pioneers 7. Back in 60 seconds on the WRBI app.
Are you confident that your insurance is providing the protection you deserve? At Hummel Winters Insurance, they consider your unique needs to recommend the best coverage for you, whether it's home, auto, business, or farm insurance. They partner with reputable companies like Indiana Farmers Insurance to provide tailored service and policies that fit just right. Stop by Hummel Winters Insurance at 118 West Indian Trail, Milan, or contact them at 812-654-2071 today.
Hey, football fans! While Ivy Tech Community College doesn't have a football team, what it does have is your play to a great future. Earn a short-term certificate to quickly get into a high-wage, high-demand career. Earn your associate degree in a wide variety of programs for a more affordable transfer to a bachelor's degree. Classes are offered in person and online at the Lawrenceburg and Batesville locations. For more information, email r11express@ivytech.edu.
The most and best high school sports is on WRBI.
And welcome back to Our Lady of Providence High School in Clarksville. Tom Snape and Max Abel. And we've enjoyed a rather entertaining first half. The Milan Indians with a 14-7 lead as they've come out of the locker room, and the Providence Pioneers will do so likewise. And tell you what, Max, these are top-notch facilities here in a 1A high school.
No kidding. I got a good friend from college who's a Providence Pioneer, and he was very, very proud that I got to experience their facilities. It's great. Got a big video board over there on to our left. Really nice looking turf field here. Baseball field looks great. I'm always a sucker for a nice looking baseball field. So it's a real treat to be here and get to take advantage of these facilities.
And I'll tell you what's also neat is the fact that you have the neighborhood, you know where the school property ends and the neighborhood begins, because you'll look off to our right, you see some houses in the neighborhood. You look off to the left, and right up against the end zone off to our left, behind the big message board, scoreboard, see somebody's backyards as well. So they could sit out and watch the ball game for free.
It kind of reminds me, being from Louisville, big Louisville fan, their baseball field is kind of in the middle of a neighborhood where a lot of the students live. So when they have a big super regional game, or they'll play against Kentucky or something like that, it's a big game that you don't necessarily want to pay a lot for tickets. You'll see a lot of those students that live right by the field. You'll see them up on their roofs watching some baseball for free. Might not be legal, but
oh well,
that's secondary.
Yeah, that's like in Cincinnati. Elder High School, they're at the pit. It's plopped down in the middle of the neighborhood. There were some houses that backed up to the stadium and on the press box side. And some people bought those houses. They revamped them, and they have those for people who they charge a fee, like for a yearly fee. And you can sit out on the patio on the second floor and watch the ball game that way.
That's awesome.
Yep. So
that is really,
all those neat little quirks. And of course, people probably hear me talk about Rushville at Henshaw Field, how that looks like it's plopped in the middle of the neighborhood, because you look off to your right, you see all these, you see a street and a bunch of houses out there. And of course, you've got in the background, in the center, you're looking right at that historic gym that was opened its doors in 1926 at Rushville. And they still have those poles, those right there, obstructing people's views. But what a great venue.
Well, vintage experience. Yep. I know I get a lot of crap for this, because I'm the big baseball fan in the family, and my brother, he played lacrosse, and he's kind of a baseball fan, but he had some lacrosse tournaments up in Boston, and he was able to go to Fenway Park a couple of times. I haven't been yet, so I get a bunch of junk for that. But he told me that they were sitting out in right field, and just the way that the wall and the ballpark is shaped, he's sitting here, and if he looks straight ahead, he's looking at the center fielder. So to look at home plate, he had to turn almost 90 degrees on his from his seat.
Right, very good. So
don't have those issues here, though.
No, not
pretty
at
new,
all.
Pretty new, sparkling facilities.
Yep, looks really good. Yeah, we pulled in this evening a little after 5 o'clock, and we were like, "Wow, this is impressive." Yeah. So the Milan Indians, as we get back to the matter at hand, which is this regional championship game in Class 1A, Milan with the 7-point lead, get the ball to start the second half. And they'll be going from right to left as Max and I are looking at things here at Providence High School. And you see back deep, Grant Langferman, among others. Also, Mike and Norman is the deep man. There's 3 return men back for the Indians, but the deep man standing back around 5 looks like Norman. And momentarily, they'll be kicking things off here and get the second half underway.
Really big drive here to start this second half. Like I said, Milan likes to condense the game, limit possession. So if you can go up 2 scores here in the second half, there's going to be a lot of pressure on those guys in the blue shirts.
And we get the whistle and advance on the ball. And it's going to be taken and bobbled at the 10 and rolls out of bounds. So that's where Milan will start out first and 10. Not what you wanted if you're Ryan Langferman and company, that kind of squibbed and tried to grab it, and then it rolled out of bounds. So that's where the Indians will start out first and 10 with the 7-point lead.
Yeah, field position, a big part of the equation here tonight. And that is, I believe, the worst starting field position for any team this evening. Starting on your own 10, just, I think, a little bit more distance on that kick than Turner was expecting.
And, of course, Milan did have it at their own 10 after stopping.
That's right.
Providence. And running it up the middle is Pettit. And tough sledding there as he got it. Excuse me, that's actually Langferman, the ball carrier. That's Beckett Langferman was the ball carrier. And he went forward for about 3 yards on the play. And actually, they're going to give him 4, so it'll be a 2nd and 6. Ball at the 14-yard line of the Milan Indians.
Yeah, you're right. They did start around their own 10 earlier on, but you feel a little bit better about that after you get a turnover on downs as opposed to have a kickoff go out of bounds.
Micah Norman split to the near side. Mostly tight formation. And handed off and running and going out to the 15-yard line. And Marsh, the ball carrier, quarterback keeper, tried to get out on the perimeter, and which has been so deadly. Of course, that led to one of the Milan touchdowns. So
much better job here these first two plays, just being physical up front for Providence. Got about a 3-yard run and then a run for nothing, and now you have yourself set up 3rd down and long.
So they'll give him 1 on the play, so it'll be a 3rd and they're going to lose a yard on that, so it'll be 3rd and 7. Under center is Norman. Send the man in motion to the near side and running it up the middle. And tough sledding there, nothing doing there, and Providence able to come up with a stop on 3rd down. And that'll force the Milan Indians to punt for the first time this evening. And back doing the punting chores for the Indians is number 72, Jose Blanco, the 6'1", 270-pound junior. Blanco on the year averaging 43 yards punt average, as long as 59. He has a couple inside the 5. Actually, they're going to have Marsh back punting, so I thought they had Blanco was supposed to be back in at punting, but snap back. And the kick is away. And it is Blanco, actually. So it's number 72 as opposed to 12. And a huge bounce as the Providence return man lets it go at midfield and rolls all the way down to the Pioneer 29-yard line. So not a deep kick, but it got a friendly bounce if you're Milan, all the way down to the 29-yard line. So Blanco adding to his punting average on that one. So a 1st and 10, Providence at their own 29-yard line, trailing 14-7. As they get a 3 and out against Milan for the first time tonight. 9:37 to go in the 3rd quarter. Tonight's game brought to you in part by Brun's Gutzwiller, the Reservation Restaurant, and Napoleon State Bank.
They don't get a whole lot of credit, but that's a pretty big punt right there. Flipping the field, because you're probably talking. Oh.
And rolling out to his right is Fondrisi, looking intercepted. Coming up with it is Grant Langferman, and Langferman immediately dropped around the 28-yard line. So the first turnover of the night. However, we have a penalty marker in the defensive backfield, and they're got Milan jumping around.
I think they're saying ineligible downfield again.
Yeah, another one. That's the second one tonight against Providence, and that is the case. Actually, he signaled.
He pointed the wrong way.
He pointed the wrong way. It's ineligible. Yeah, they can't have an ineligible downfield for defense, but it was an ineligible man downfield for Providence, their second of the night. But the penalty is declined on the interception by Grant Langferman. So another contribution to turnover hunger, the Milan Indians and the Batesville Bulldogs when they were playing, contributing to the turnover hunger program through the Ripley County Community Foundation. So 1st and 10, Milan at the Providence 27-yard line. And as Langferman's second interception of the year.
Way he's playing tonight, they might have to name the field after him. He's been all over the stat sheet.
Yeah, those Langferman brothers, I'll tell you what, they have owned the place. And swing it out and off the hands of his intended receiver, and just as he comes up with the big play out defensively, Grant not able to come up with that swing pass. I think he heard footsteps.
Yeah, well, it's probably a good thing that he dropped it because he was a yard or two in the backfield, and he was just about wrapped up by the time the ball got there. So even when he drops it, it's a good thing.
Yeah, a little positivity. So 2nd and 10, Milan at the Providence 27-yard line. Clock stopped with 9:25 to go in the 3rd quarter on that incomplete pass. Tight formation. Operating out of the shotgun is Wyatt Marsh. And he'll hand it off to Beckett Langferman. Beckett bounces out to the right side. He'll get it inside the 25, down to the 24. And very patient on that run, however, is slow to develop and well defended by the Providence Pioneers.
Absolutely. They're doing a much better job, Providence is, of just being physical. It took a while for him to get him on the ground, but strung him out, and then eventually the cavalry arrives and you're able to stop him for a short gain.
3rd and 8, Milan. Ball just inside the 25-yard line of Providence. Indians break the huddle with 14 seconds on the play clock. Norman split to the near side. Under center is Marsh, and got to hand it up the middle and bounce it just to the outside of the left side of the formation, getting it down to the 19-yard line is Pettit, and he's going to be well short of the first down by a few yards, but it is fourth and manageable, 4-down territory for the Indians. So, of course, they're going to go for it here on 4th and 2 at the Providence 19-yard line.
A little bit surprised here. They just Pettit out of the game. Would have thought that even if you don't want to hand it to him, that threat of the dive would have been enticing to have, but they get a little bit more speed on the field here for a very, very important 4th down.
Twin wide receivers split up top. Marsh snapped back to him. He calls his own number, runs it off right tackle, and he's got to be awful close. Milan signaling that he got it. And coming up for the stop was Lincoln Kruer for the Providence Pioneers, and not before Marsh picks up the Milan first down.
Well, talked about how you might have wanted to keep Pettit on the field because of how hard he runs. That time, Wyatt Marsh running really hard. Looked like he was hit a yard and a half short of the marker, kept the legs churning, able to fall forward for an enormous first down right there.
1st and 10, Milan at the Providence 17-yard line. Indians break the huddle. Twin wides split to the near side. There are Colton Harris and Norman, and running off the right side inside the numbers, and Marsh the ball carrier on another quarterback keeper, and there is a penalty marker around the line of scrimmage, so look for that to come back, and it will, holding against the Indians.
Believe they're going to get Lucas Hensley, the center, got wrapped around one of the interior linemen there, opening up a seam. First non-procedural penalty. No, that's true. Milan got called for roughing the passer, but first non-procedural penalty on the Milan offense, at least.
Yeah, that was the roughing the passer on the Fundrisi touchdown pass to Evans late in about midway through the second quarter. 7:20 to go in the third, and it's now a 1st and 20 Milan at the Providence 27-yard line.
Big call right there. You go from 1st and goal inside the 5 to now 1st and 20 outside the 25.
Marsh operating out of the shotgun and hand it up, go up the middle and get a good chunk of that yardage back, and you got to take it down inside the 20. And as Langferman, the ball carrier, Grant Langferman.
That's the exact same play they ran and fumbled earlier. That little... they give the look of the quarterback sweep right, hand it back to Grant Langferman going against the grain to the left. That time the exchange clean. And Providence actually did a nice job. They were in position, but Langferman an athletic play to cut it back and gets about 8 yards.
Yeah, so that'll be a 2nd and 12 Milan at the Providence 19-yard line as Daniel McDonald calls his first timeout of the half.
I think that was an injury.
Yep, you're correct. Yep, yeah. So I thought it looked like they were pointing toward like a timeout, but that is Gabriel Bermudez, I believe. Actually, yeah, the numbers are kind of the numbers are kind of funky. They're kind of squeezed together, different font. It's Pete Lannon, one of their top linebackers, one of their top defensive players, as he walks off on his own power. But Lannon with 8 sacks on the year, 11 tackles for loss, and 3 fumble recoveries. So a key piece of that Providence defense. So an injury timeout. So both teams with all 3 of their timeouts. 2nd and 12 at the 19-yard line of Providence. Snap back to Marsh. He's got to call his own number. Darts to the inside and corkscrews his way down inside the 10. And he's got to set up a more 3rd and manageable with that run.
Looked like Lincoln Kruer, the linebacker for Providence, was in good position, and just a better move by Marsh. They're one-on-one in the middle of the field there. Ball carrier able to get away and set up a 3rd and manageable.
So 3rd and 2, the ball at the 9-yard line. 5:50 and counting in the third quarter. Milan with a 14-7 lead. However, they were looking for more. looking to play add-on here. Micah Norman split to the near side. Backs lined up behind Marsh, who is under center. And he's going to hand it off and going up the middle and darting his way out to the left side and inside the 5 down around the 2-yard line. And as Pettit, the ball carrier, Josh Pettit once again doing that grunt work. And he gets it inside the 2, so that's going to set up a 1st and goal at the 2 for the Milan Indians. .5:10 and counting in the third. Indians break the huddle. Norman will split to the top of the formation. Indians going from right to left. And they're looking to punch it into the end zone off to our left. Marsh under center, tight formation. And hands it off to Beckett Langferman. Langferman is stonewalled at the goal line around the 1. Well defended there, strung out by Providence.
It's a good play by Jorge Reyes-Nino, the linebacker, getting in there. He didn't make the tackle, but he slowed down Langferman long enough for the cavalry to arrive and keep him out of the end zone.
So 2nd and goal at the 1 for the Indians. Inside 4.5 minutes in the third quarter, just as you said, Max, there. Milan shortening the game. That, of course, that's pretty much their modus operandi, is take time off, cut the game in half. And so they break the huddle with 12 seconds to go on the play clock. Norman split way up top. Tight formation. They run it up the middle, and a quarterback sneak by Wyatt Marsh. And Marsh gets it in for the touchdown. A 1-yard plunge by Marsh, his 2nd touchdown run of the night. And it comes with 4:01 to go in the fourth quarter. And Milan increases that lead by 6.
Just kept it simple. Get the ball on the snap, go straight, put that head down, and keep those legs driving until you hear a whistle. And there's that 2-score lead in the second half. Big deal to be at multiple possessions here the way that Milan plays.
Nick Voss on for the extra point and the snap back, and they're going to go for the 2-point and got it. They faked the extra point, and the holder is Hayden Poole. They snapped it back to him and threw it in the end zone for the 2-point conversion. How about that?
Little trickeration. I think that you sense some letdown from Providence. Kind of maybe the Pioneers taking it for granted that they're going to kick the extra point and go up 14. So you slip one of your tight ends out into the flat there on the left, and he was wide open.
And that was Noah Morgan who caught that on the O and the Providence type in the end zone off to our left. He caught that on that pass. So well done there by the Milan Indians executing that 2-point conversion, a design play all the way. I mean, you could tell that it was designed all the way.
Oh, yeah.
So tonight's game brought to you in part by Winters Insurance, Ivy Tech Community College, and Garings. Some other scores around the area. And New Palestine with a 13-6 lead over East Central. That one in the fourth quarter. And they got a good one there at the pit. Lawrenceburg with a 21-20 lead over Cascade in the second quarter. And here our score is Milan 22, Providence 7 with 4:01 remaining in the third quarter. So the Indians go up by 2 scores plus 1.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's exactly right. It doesn't feel like that big of a deal, or it isn't really that big of a deal. It's 1 extra point. You're going to have to get a 2-point conversion at some point. But it almost feels bigger than it is the way that this game is going for Providence. Maybe tightens them up a little bit more.
So Nick Voss advances on the ball, and a low kick. It's going to be taken around the inside the 20 and getting across the 25 and down to the 27-yard line. And that's where Providence will start, 1st and 10, trailing 22-7 to the Milan Indians. And the return man on that one was number 5, Mason Went. So the Pioneers, the defending Class 1A state champs, on the ropes here with 3:55 to go here in the third quarter. Twin wides to the near side, one up top. Fondrisi operating out of the shotgun as he has all night and hands it off on the delayed handoff. And running up the middle is Sipes. Sipes to the 45 to the 50 and taken down inside Milan territory to the 49-yard line.
Best run of the night, little draw action right there. Fondrisi dropping back like he's going to pass, holds the ball for a second, then hands it to his running back. And a little bit of life for Providence now. They're in plus territory.
So a 1st and 10, Pioneers at the Milan 49-yard line. The run by Kalen Sipes. And he has 769 rushing yards and 7 touchdowns coming into tonight's ball game. He split 3 to the near side, 1 up top. Fondrisi operating out of the shotgun as he has all evening. Snap back to him, looks, fires left side, and caught in the flat around the painted numbers down inside the 45 to the 43-yard line. And that was Jacob Evans with the receiver. And able to pick up 6 on that pass play. 2nd and 4. Again, those little dump offs there, Max, instead of going for it all in those big chunk throws.
Yeah, I think Milan a little bit more passive in their pass defense there, giving them some cushion. Don't want to let anybody run past you, so just have to make sure you're going up and making the tackle, which they did.
Fondrisi looks left and caught and wrestled back, but his forward progress should take him to the 35-yard line. And that's Evans, the reception once again. And Wyatt Marsh on the stop, playing defense as well, going 2 ways because of injuries.
Well, they've gone after him here 2 plays in a row. He's done a nice job of not allowing any run after the catch, but just kind of seems like he's on an island one-on-one there, and you have to guard against that big play. I'd be surprised here if Providence doesn't mix in a double move with one of these receivers, try and take a shot deep.
1st and 10 at the 35. Back to throw. Fondrisi has time looking up left side, and it is no good. Some wrestling a little bit, some hand contact, but incidental down the far sideline. And he was looking for Lannon on that one. So incomplete pass will stop the clock.
Wasn't a double move, just a go for Landon there. And there's Wyatt Marsh in coverage. He was all over him. Clean play, though. Did a nice job not holding or drawing the flag. But good hand fighting. Put himself in good position and swatted that one away.
And the key there, both guys had their heads turned looking for the football. Fondrisi will hand it off and running off right tackle and getting it between the hash marks. And that's Sipes, the ball carrier.
Milan right there doing a good job stopping the run and not needing to stack the box, not having, 7, 8, 9 guys all there by the ball, able to play a little bit softer coverage, guard against those deep balls, and just tell their linebackers and defensive linemen, we need you to stop this run. We can't have our safeties coming down to plug holes for you, and they did that right there.
Lucas Hensley with the tackle, pickup of 1 on the play. 3rd and 9 at the 34 of Milan. Rolling out to his left and under some pressure, firing his Fondrisi. Looks to the left side and intercepted. Second interception of the night for the Milan Indians. They picked it off around the 5-yard line. So Fondrisi throws a second pick of the night. And I believe that was... It did not catch a number on that one, but nevertheless, Milan comes up with the interception.
Almost an arm punt right there.
Yeah.
You pin him deep, but just kind of maybe getting a little bit impatient, trying to take that deep shot, and just a really good play in coverage. Force that turnover, and now if you're Providence, you got to feel like those screws are tightening. Need a stop right here. Can't let Milan run a bunch of clock.
1st and 10 Milan at their own 7-yard line after the interception, the second of the night, and another contribution to turnover hunger. And they run it up the middle, and tough sledding there. Well defended by Providence. I mean, they're going to pet at the ball carrier on that one.
I'd expect him to earnest paycheck right here.
Yeah, if they had NIL in high school.
Figuratively speaking.
Yeah. And I hope that doesn't come. Editorial comment.
Yeah.
I know they're talking about it in Ohio.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Wish I was from there. Only have to run one more play here in the quarter as well. I think you've gotten to the point in the game now where you really start to think about the clock with 12 minutes and change left in regulation.
No gain on the play, 2nd and 10. And they run it up the middle. And it's getting positive yardage and contact. And it gets a little bit more breathing room. They'll get it to the 10, so pickup of 3 on the play. And Langfordman, the ball carrier on that one. So 16 seconds and counting here. And see if Milan ends up. It doesn't look like they're in any hurry to get a playoff. They're just going to go ahead and hedge their bets and take it on to the 4th quarter. And that, as they say, is that for the 3rd quarter. So your score after 3 in this Class 1A Regional 24 Championship. The Milan Indians 22. The Providence Pioneers, the defending champs, 7. Back with 4th quarter action after this 30-second timeout. You're listening to high school football on the WRBI app.
Simmer and sear with confidence using a Maytag freestanding electric range with 5 elements, including a 9-inch and 6-inch dual choice element, variable broil, and warming center. You can knock out mealtime in no time. The steam clean cycle and fingerprint resistant stainless steel finish makes it easy to keep clean inside and out. Shop Garings today. Garings in Maytag, 316 North Main, Batesville.
Southeastern Indiana's sports voice, WRBI.
Back at Providence, and your score, the Milan Indians with a 22-7 lead over the defending champion Providence Pioneers. Heading into quarter number 4 is the 4th quarter in St. Leon, and unfortunately, the East Central Trojans trailing the New Palestine Dragons 20-6, the top team in 5A. And Cascade has taken a 2-point lead over Lawrenceburg, 23-21. That one in the 2nd quarter. That game being played at the pit. Here our score is Milan 22 and Providence 7. And flipping the field, they had a long march there to the opposite end, Max.
Yeah, what is it? One 11-yard line to the other right here. And said this all night, big 3rd down coming up right here with the clock being the factor that it is, and Milan able to milk that play clock in between plays. Got to get off the field here if you're Providence. Maximize those possessions.
3rd and 6, Indians at their own 11-yard line. Operating out of the shotgun is Marsh. He's going to run it left side, waiting for it to develop. He kicks it to the outside the numbers, and taken out of bounds across the way at the yard marker, the 3rd down yard marker, so no gain on the play. And the Indians will be forced to punt. And coming on to do those duties for the Indians will be Jose Blanco.
Well, Jose had a big punt last time when they were backed up like this. I'd imagine if you're Providence, you tell your return man, maybe get a little bit deeper this time. Can't let that ball go over you.
And Bermuda's back to receive the punt.
Well, they got 2 guys back.
Yeah, and also Lucas Malk is back there. He's on the opposite hash mark. The near hash mark is Bermuda's. And so Providence should come out with a pretty good field position, a high punt. And it bounced and picked up by Mock across the way inside the 45. And he's going to be wrestled down in front of the Milan bench at the 49-yard line. So pretty good field position for the Pioneers to start this drive, trailing Milan 22-7.
Good adjustment there.
Yeah.
Don't let that one get past you. And smart play there by Mock. It hit at the 50. And typically in that situation, when the kick coverage team is that close, you don't want to mess with trying to field the ball. But that end-over-end kick, it was going to keep on rolling. So smart play by Mock to save some field position there. And like we've said, the clock's such a big factor. Getting to start at midfield, that's a big, big deal.
1st and 10, Providence at their own 49-yard line. Snap back, and they'll hand it off on the sweep and run to the left side, and taken down by the Milan Indians, Levi Pierce. Landing the ball, siped the ball carrier.
Pierce has been a busy man today. Good pursuit going about 5-6 yards downfield from his defensive end position to make the tackle there.
Pickup of 6 on the play. It'll be 2nd and 4 at the Milan 45-yard line. Nico Fondrisi, the quarterback, rolls out to his right, looking, firing, sets up, and tried to get it to the 45-yard line. Well defended. That was Wyatt Marsh back defending for Milan. The intended receiver was Noah Fassard, the 5'10", 185-pound senior.
That was great defense by Marsh. Fassard, maybe not the biggest body out there, but you almost tell him to box out, make yourself as big as possible, and make Marsh go through your back and commit a penalty. But Marsh did a nice job reaching around, getting his hand in front to knock that one away.
3rd and 4, Providence at the Milan 34. And they'll hand it off to the man running to the right side and getting away from one and getting back to the line of scrimmage. It was a double handoff, and running to the right side was Lincoln Kruer. He took it and got it down to the 45-yard line.
It looked like
no gain on the play.
It looked like Pierce made the tackle, but that play made by Grant Langferman. He had him wrapped up, couldn't quite finish the job, but slowed him down. And that was kind of that you show flow to the left, hand it back to the guy going back right. We've seen Milan run it a couple times. Providence trying it with less success there.
And Providence going forward on 4th and 4. Fondrisi looks over the defense, says something to his lineman. Pitch back to him, fired, and off the hands of his intended receiver. Well defended there, no flags. And the intended receiver was to Sipes, and back defending once again was Langferman for the Milan Indians. So Milan turns over Providence on downs. Of course, they did a lot of that last week against North Decatur, turning the Chargers over on downs and getting the ball back. And the Indians with excellent field position at their own 45-yard line.
Yeah, at this point in the game now, offensively, if you're Milan, you are in full-on 4-minute offense, meaning that your goal isn't necessarily to score touchdowns. You're looking for first downs. You want to shorten this game as much as you can. Got to emphasize ball security. Can't put the ball on the turf here.
Wyatt Marsh, the senior quarterback, snap back, and they'll hand it off on the misdirection to the 45 to the 30 to the 45 and 40. And that is Beckett Langferman. He gets it down to the 38-yard line of the Providence Pioneers. Just as you said, Max, handed off ball control. And Langferman with all kinds of room to run out on the perimeter and took it all the way down to the Pioneer 38.
You almost want for there to be a little bit less on those gains. Yeah. You run a couple of plays before you get the first down, but just more good running room. And that's kind of what Daniel McDonald, the head coach at Providence, was talking about. A lot of misdirection, a lot of eye candy. Got to be lined up right, be reading the right keys. And unfortunately for Providence, they haven't done a very good job of that tonight.
Marsh operating out of the shotgun, has one man on his right hip, and he hands it off to that man. That's Beckett Langferman, and Langferman bounces it to the outside, runs left toward the Milan bench across the way, where he's ushered out of bounds. And he'll get back to the line of scrimmage, and that is it. In on the stop for Providence was Lucas Mock. So they're going to say, they're going to say he lost a yard, so it's going to be a 2nd and 11. So Beckett Langferman losing one on the play. They'll take it back to the 39-yard line. 19 seconds showing on the play clock, 8:20 showing on the game clock.
Speaking of ball security, sorry, Tom, but this is a Milan offense. Don't want to jinx anything, but only 5 turnovers all year long.
Marsh will hand it off to Langferman, and Beckett will run up the middle, and tough sledding, well defended by Providence. And he will pick up some yards on the play, and we've got a timeout. It will be taken by Daniel McDonald and the Providence Pioneers. It comes with 7:55 to go in the fourth quarter. Milan with a 22-7 lead over the Providence Pioneers, and we'll give you some more scoring updates from around the area. And a couple of finals from other games that affect the outcome of our local regionals. Of course, New Palestine with a 20-6 lead over East Central in the fourth quarter. At the half, Cascade has opened up a 30-20 lead over the Lawrenceburg Tigers at the pit. And some finals. The winner of this one will play the winner between South Putnam and Sheridan. And it is South Putnam the winner in that one. That's a final, 26-6. Also a final of whoever comes out of that Class 5A regional at St. Leon. And it was overwhelmingly the Bloomington South Panthers opened up a can of it on the Floyd Central Highlanders, 49-7. That's the final. So you're up to date on some of the scores around the area and beyond. Here are our scores: 22-7, 7:55 to go. Milan facing a 3rd and 7 at the Providence 35-yard line. Snap back to Marsh. He runs it out to the right side, bounces it outside the numbers, and is going to be short of the yardage for the first down. He'll get it to the 31, and that is it. Well defended by Providence. It's like they set up a blue picket fence out there and had him caged in.
Trevor Unruh did a nice job. That's the Providence corner who made the tackle. Initially, he let the play get outside of him, which is kind of a no-no, but good recovery to make the play. And I'm a little bit surprised that I know they're all the way down at the 32. Would think that maybe you try a hard count, draw them off sides, and if you can't get that, punt it and try to lengthen the field as much as you can for this Providence offense.
So Milan keeps the offense, as Max Abel mentioned, on the field. Under center is Wyatt Marsh. And he's going to hand it off to Pettit, and he'll get to close to the necessary yards for the first down. And Mock and company for Providence saying, no, he didn't make it. They just handed off, and Pettit took off like he was headed downhill, and he was immediately hit. And they're going to say Providence turned it over on down, so he did not make it. So Providence with a stop on downs, and they will take over trailing 22-7 with 6:57 to go in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, that was a must-have for the Providence defense, and they barely got it. Looked like he's maybe a half a yard short from the naked eye.
Tonight's game brought to you in part by Beck Properties, Ison's Family Pizza, and Great Plains Communications. Fondrisi firing and trying to go out to the the right side, and threw it more toward the Milan bench. It looks like Ryan Lankford saying, what about intentional grounding? But it looked like he was outside the tackle box because he was rolling out to his right and well outside of it.
The officials talking it over, the official on the far sideline and the white cap getting together to make sure that they had that one, that they're on the same page there. Looked like he got outside the tackle box.
So incomplete pass stops the clock with 6:50 to go. It'll be 2nd and 10. The ball on the Providence 29-yard line.
Would expect to see, if Providence can get anything going here, would expect to see a little bit of tempo.
3 to the near side. Fondrisi back to throw, looking, firing right side. And it is almost caught, just bobbled across the way. Tried to go to the right side with it. 2 Milan defenders bracketing the intended receiver on the far sideline. And they're going for Evans on that one.
Wyatt Marsh in defense kind of looked at the Milan defense, some confusion. Marsh had to run over he was in the middle of the field, had to run over to that left side on the far side numbers because the receiver was all by himself out there, but maybe a little bit out of position to start, but he made up for it. Nice recovery and good defense there to force the incompletion.
3rd and 10 at the 29, rolling out to his Fondrisi, looking, firing, and caught beyond the first down marker. So the Pioneers come up with a clutch 3rd down conversion. They get it out to Jacob Evans. He just set up shop beyond the sticks and was dropped immediately.
A little bit surprised, and I'm guessing we'll see a lot of that here, but surprised that wasn't the game plan initially for Providence. Take these short gains because they're open for business right there. Milan guarding against the big play.
Fondrisi out of the shotgun, looking, firing. Tries to go over the middle, and it is almost interception. Getting a hand on that for the Indians was Colton Harris, the 5'9", 135-pound junior. He was back playing center field. He had it momentarily until he didn't. And he was back defending, and the intended receiver on that one was Trevor Unruh.
But you see again that downfield shot trying to hit a seam there, and you're in double coverage. Time is not your friend, only 6 minutes left, but you do still have enough time to work the short intermediate game.
3 of the near side, 1 up top. Snap back to Fondrisi, rolls out to his left, looking, firing, and caught on the near sideline. A nice tightrope job. And skying for that one was Hudson Lannon, a 6'2", 185-pound sophomore. He just went up for that. He showed some hops on that one, Max.
Yeah, he said he's 6'2". If he was 6'1", that's probably an incompletion. But there's your short and intermediate game. Now you're in a third and manageable with 2 plays to get 4 or 5 yards here.
So a big pickup there for Providence. And as Max said, sets up a 3rd and 4 at the Pioneer 47-yard line. Nico Fondrisi, the sophomore quarterback, operating out of the shotgun as he has all night. Fires to the near side, and it is caught. And just beyond the sticks, and that was Mason Wint coming up with that one. And nice job by Wint as he parked it outside the sticks. And another first down for the Providence Pioneers. This one comes at the Milan 48-yard line. They quickly go back to the line of scrimmage to Providence. Snap back to Fondrisi, looking, firing right side, and it is caught outside the painted numbers around the 40-yard line. And his forward progress just took it to the 42-yard line of the Milan Indians.
Yeah, you'll give that up all day long if you're Milan. Just keep them in front, keep them in bounds, make them run as many plays as possible before they get into the end zone.
Twin wides to the near side, 2nd and 5. Fondrisi back, looking, firing, goes over the middle and off the hands of his intended receiver. That was dangerously close to also being picked off. And he was trying to go to Noah Leeser.
Milan might have caught a break there, a little bit of a late hit on the quarterback. Was looking for a flag, but they say it was close enough to the time of the release that they keep the flag in the pocket there, but can't afford to be giving up free 15 yards here.
3rd and 5, Providence at the Milan 42. Fondrisi operating out of the gun, looking, firing right side, and caught across the way, and that's good for a first down. And once again, snagging that one was Mason Wint. He came up with a big reception for pick up another first down on a previous play right in front of us. And he picks up a fresh set of downs for Providence at the Milan 36-yard line, trailing 22-7, 5:18 to go in the 4th.
Also big there. They're getting out of bounds. They're stopping the clock.
Yes.
So that might be something to keep an eye on. Maybe try to keep them inside of you. The old inside and inbounds defense right here.
Fondrisi out of the shotgun, looking, has protection, firing over the middle, and it is caught around the 15 and dragging a couple of defenders with him down to the 11-yard line. And that is caught by Leeser. And so another big pickup for the Providence Pioneers all the way down to the 11-yard line of the Milan Indians. They go tempo. Fondrisi looking, firing in the left side of the end zone. Intercepted! The 3rd interception of the night for the Milan defense. And that snuffs out that rally. And that's, Micah Norman comes up with the pick.
Well, he should have had a pick earlier in the game.
Yeah.
He gets one there, but just underthrown by Fondrisi that time. Little up and out, little corner route there on the goal line, and if he throws it out in front of his receiver, it's a touchdown, but underthrown, and that allows Norman to go up and make the interception, and now you're in a spot for Providence where you're probably needing a turnover, definitely need a 3 and out right here.
6th interception of the year for Micah Norman. And sets up Milan with a 1st and 10 at their own 20-yard line. 3 interceptions tonight for the Milan defense. They're +2 in the takeaway category. They lost a fumble on offense. And rumbling up the middle is Pettit.
Something to keep an eye on here. Providence already punched a timeout earlier, so when are they going to use them? Looks like they're hanging on to the timeout for the moment.
Tonight's game brought to you in part by Franklin County Farmers Mutual Insurance, Hurt and Elko, and Randall Equipment. Pickup of 3 on the play by Pettit. It will be 2nd and 7. The ball at the 23-yard line. Micah Norman, who came up with the interception in the end zone on the Arn, the Providence type in the end zone off to our left, is split to the top of the formation. Indians going from left to right, and they hand it up the middle, and that's Pettit once again bulldozes his way forward to the 26-yard line. And another timeout will be taken by Providence, and it comes with 4:05 remaining in the ball game. And your score once again, the Milan Indians 22, the Providence Pioneers 7. And it is over in St. Leon. The New Palestine Dragons remain undefeated, 20-6. They beat the East Central Trojans of Coach Jake Minor, so an excellent season in the second year in 5A for the Trojans. But their season comes to an end tonight. Also, score at the half once again is Cascade over Lawrenceburg, 30-21. That one at the half. Now, of course, that game kicked off at 8 o'clock. Some other games around the area. Of course, this one is now mute because East Central's been eliminated. But just for your information and edification, Bloomington South, a 49-7 winner over Floyd Central. And the winner of this one will get South Putnam. They beat Sheridan tonight, 26-6. So, of course, we'll keep you updated, and, of course, have the scores on our website later on this evening on WRBIRadio.com. So, Max, we got 4:05 to go, one timeout remaining for Providence.
Got to get a stop here if you're Provident. You get a first down here, it's really looking dire. You're going to need some weird things to happen.
And some jumping, and they got him. Hard count there. A little too antsy by
Might get the first down for free.
Yep. Yeah, they will, because it was 3rd and 4. So that snap count, I'll tell you, a guy who I saw for 3 years quarterbacking Batesville, was Will Geisel. He was really good at that voice inflection.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, how many times he drew off, he got Batesville so many gift first downs on that snap count. And
yeah, tough as a defender, too, because you know the situation in the game. You know that you need to get off the field there, so you're on your toes, and if you got a good hard count, it can give you a free first down.
So 1st and 10, Milan at their own 31, 4:05 to go. They have all 3 of their timeouts. And hand off and give it off to Langford. The ball squirts loose and falls backwards several yards and rolls out of bounds. And no indication yet. I believe it rolled out of bounds before Providence could recover it. Once again, that bad exchange between Marsh and Grant Langferman. And I don't think Langferman ever really had it before he was tackled, and the ball squirted loose.
Well, they had the botched exchange. There was a fumble there. I couldn't tell who it was, but somebody in white picked it up, started running with it, and then he fumbled it, and finally somebody fell on it. And it sets you back at a second in a time zone, but you're still in possession of the football, and those heart rates over on that far sideline spiked for a little bit.
Yeah, I made a reference last week, a Ripley County reference, 3rd and Elrod, because that's how far the distance was on the North Decatur had on one of their drives last week. And
yeah, going to be. They got a couple of plays here, but from here it'd be. It's not a guarantee that they'll be able to punt for a first down, so probably not going to be able to run the rest of the clock out because you need a couple of first downs. But the important thing is you hold on to the football.
So 2nd and 19, the ball at the 22-yard line, and they'll hand it off and running to the right side and continuing to squeeze his way down is Langferman, the ball carrier. And Grant rumbles forward, gets a little more manageable as he takes it down to the 29-yard line. So it's going to be 3rd and 12, Indians.
Well, you find a way to pick up 12 yards here over this next couple of plays, and you might be able to kneel it out. If my math is correct, Providence would at most have about 2 minutes and no timeouts, needing 15 points if you don't pick up the first down.
Yeah, Providence has called their last timeout. That was that last stoppage in play. Snap back to Marsh. Marsh shucks away from one man. Actually, that's going to be Beckett Langferman on the direct snap. That was awfully close to an unsportsmanlike, and as they wrestled him out of bounds.
Mistake there, a big one, running out of bounds here. That gives Providence a free timeout. Stopping the clock with 2:50 to go.
Yep, of course, it is a 4th down for the Indians. And Jose Blanco back in punt formation for Milan.
I'd expect if I'm Providence, I've got my rush team out there. I'm trying to block this punt.
Yep, and the lone man, the return man, will be Lucas Mock. And he's going to set up shop around his own 40-yard line. And you hear the Providence fans say, get him. You expect the rush. Yeah,
they got 10 on the line. They're coming after this one.
Oh, yeah. Snap back to him, and Blanco gets it off a high kick. And a fair catch signaled and made at the 44-yard line in Providence territory. So that's where the Pioneers will begin this drive with 2:45 remaining in their season. The defending state champs in Class 1A staring down the barrel of elimination in this regional championship.
Well, same thing here if you're Milan. Inbounds and in front. Don't let him get to the boundary, and whatever you do, don't let him get behind you. And for Providence, now or never. Got to hit the gas here.
Andrisi back to throw, firing, and immediately laying the wood to him. Nice tackle by Wyatt Marsh. The receiver on that one was Evans. He caught it, but he paid the price right at midfield.
Like a quarterback who's not afraid to lay some lumber there. That's a nice hit.
Quickly back to the line of scrimmage. Fondrisi rolls out to his right, looking, firing, and slings it out of bounds. The Milan sideline across the way. And once again, they signal for intentional grounding, but he was out of bounds. I mean, out of the tackle box around the numbers.
I think they were celebrating because one of the I don't know if that's Coach Langferman or not. Somebody caught it over there. Started running it back for him.
Yeah. Somebody still has the hands and the wheels. And it looked like, it seemed like every time that he rolls out and throws it out of bounds, it seemed like they wave their arms signaling for
worth a shot.
Yeah, why not? Try and lobby a little bit. Pass to the near side and is caught at the 45-yard line and immediately going out of bounds is Mason Wint. Defending was Colby Bushhorn. Also Luke Hendren. And that is good for a first down for the Providence Pioneers. 1st and 10 at the Milan 45-yard line. 2:15. Snap back to Fondrisi, out the shotgun, looking, firing, and comes to the near side and is over the head of his intended receiver. That is Mason Wint. Defending for the Indians, stride for stride, was Colton Harris.
That was one of his better deep balls of the game, maybe a touch overthrown, but he put that where only Mason Wint could get it. Just a touch less on that, and it's probably a touchdown.
Yeah, I agree with you, Max. That was one of his better thrown balls tonight.
And it wasn't bad coverage either. Hit a little bit of a tight window, but maybe take a yard and a half off of that.
2nd and 10. Providence at the Milan 45. Send a man in motion to the far side. Snap back to Fondrisi. Rolls out to his right, and he gets it out to Wint. And Wint is immediately leveled as soon as he caught the ball by Grant Langferman. He got it to the Milan 43-yard line, but he paid a price.
That is a big play, only 2 yards, and the play stops inbounds, so that clock keeps winding now inside of 2 minutes.
And quickly to the line of scrimmage go the Pioneers. They split a man to the near side. They have twins to either side. Fondrisi back to throw, looking, firing on the right side, and well beyond his intended receiver on the far sideline. 2 white-shirted Milan defenders across the way as well. Looked like he was going to Noah Leeser on that one.
So that's just your big 6'5" receiver. Put him up to bat, see if he can't make a play. But you got 2 white shirts there that were the 2 closest to that football. Now 4th in the game right here.
So 4th and 8. Providence at the 43-yard line of the Milan Indians. Nico Fondrisi out of the shotgun. Back to throw, looking, firing to the right side, and over the head of his intended receiver. He tried to come to the near side to Leeser, and that should pretty much put a bow on this one. 1:32 to go. The Milan Indians will take over on downs at their own 43-yard line.
Take 3 knees, get on the bus, have a fun ride back to Milan. It is a well-deserved victory, and that's the recipe to success for Milan, running the football, controlling the clock, and playing really good physical defense. They did that tonight.
So Milan Town Marshal, Fire Department, get those sirens ready to escort them home. So the Indians will go into victory formation. That's one. Comes with 1:27 to go, so the Indians will improve to 7-4 on the season. And Providence, the number 4 team in Class 1A, again the defending state champs, they will end their fine season at 9-3. And once again, those turnovers that killed them in their 2 previous losses, and it came to rear their ugly heads for them again tonight with 3 interceptions.
Yeah, had a chance there late in the game down on the goal line. You score a touchdown there. There's about 4 minutes left in a 1-score game with 2 timeouts in your back pocket, but one too many interceptions to recover from, and really disappointing end to a really good season for Providence.
So the Indians line, they snap it. 43 seconds to go. They still take their sweet time. I
think there's a slide. I don't think they have to snap it again.
No, probably. No, they're not yet, because the play clock is down to 33 and the game clock's down to 30. So I don't think they really need to snap it. And
might as well for good measure.
Yeah, why not? Just to put the cherry on top. And that is your final score. The Milan Indians are your Class 1A Regional 24 champions as they knock off the number 4 team in 1A and the defending state champion Providence Pioneers. Your final score, the Milan Indians 22, the Providence Pioneers 7. We'll be back with the post-game show after this 60-second timeout. You're listening to high school football on the WRBI app.
While you're cheering on your hometown team, Angel Beck with Beck Properties Group eXp Realty is helping you score big in real estate. Looking to buy or sell in southeastern Indiana? Angel makes selling your home fast and finding your dream home easy. With target marketing, local expertise, and personalized service, Angel helps sellers get top dollar and finds buyers homes before they even hit the market. Visit sellingyourpropertyformore.com. Sellingyourpropertyformore.com. Angel Beck, taking above and beyond to the next level.
It's back. Our delicious chicken bruschetta pizza is back. Cecil Ison from Ison's Family Pizza in downtown Batesville. The savory pizza with white garlic sauce, seasoned chicken, mozzarella provolone cheese, tomatoes, and fresh basil, all on our fresh in-house made dough. Come try this or any of Batesville's best pizza at 117 East George Street, IsonsFamilyPizza.com, 812-933-0333. Ison's Family Pizza's famous chicken bruschetta pizza is back.
Your free source for local sports, WRBI.
And it is a final in Providence. And it is the Milan Indians, your Class 1A Regional 24 champions, as they knock off the Providence Pioneers, the defending state champs, and the number 4 team in 1A. 22-7 is your final score as the Indians across the way whooping it up with the student section and enjoying it with their classmates. The Providence Pioneers huddled at midfield, probably saying a prayer. Of course, this is a parochial coeducational school. And they're having a post-game prayer and before they get their final words from Coach Daniel McDonald. And, of course, the bitter pill saying goodbye to your seniors when your season ends. But the Milan Indians roll on. And if all things are correct, they will host South Putnam. They beat Sheridan tonight 26-6, the final score of that one. Also, the East Central Trojans go down to defeat tonight to New Palestine. The Dragons get them 20-6. But the Milan Indians come on the road, and they jump out to a 14-0 lead. They play add-on late, and so the scoring rundown looks like this. The Indians won the toss and elected to defer. They got a 3-and-out, then he marched it downfield. Grant Lankfordman with a 3-yard touchdown run with 5:12 to go in the opening period, and the extra point was good by Nick Voss. That made it 7-0. There was 7:03 to go in the second quarter on a 4th and 6. Wyatt Marsh, a 28-yard quarterback keeper around the right side, bounced it outside the numbers and ran it into the end zone from 28 yards. Voss added the extra point, and it was 14-0. The lone score of the night for Providence came with 5:15 to go in the second. sophomore quarterback Nico Fondrizi, a 38-yard touchdown pass to senior wide receiver Jacob Evans. The extra point try was good. Made it 14-7. That's where things stood at the half. And then with 4:01 to go in the third quarter, Wyatt Marsh with his second touchdown run of the night, a 1-yard plunge up the middle, a little bit of a rugby scrum. And then Milan with a 2-point conversion on a pass, and they able to tack on the 21st and 22nd points, and they held serve in the fourth quarter, a scoreless period. And that's how things end up here. Milan 22, Providence 7. The Indians improve to 7-4, and they move on in the tournament. The Providence Pioneers and a fine season at 9-3. And Max Abel, your thoughts on this?
Well, I said it earlier. That's the exact recipe for a team like Milan who wants to run the ball, shorten the game, control the clock, all that good stuff. Not to mention the underdog on the road. You want to kind of drag the game into the mud, and they did just that. I think one of the bigger, not being overly familiar with either one of these teams, but knowing that Providence, the home team, defending state champs, their favorite to win this game, you see that kind of opening kickoff onside kick. It gets recovered at the 50, and you're kind of like, uh-oh. Providence is right there on the midfield stripe, starting in great field position. That 3-and-out to start the game from Milan's defense, setting the tone, that's huge. Offense takes advantage. They convert a fourth down on the goal line to strike first. I thought that was big and kind of put Providence on their heels a little bit. And then Milan really able to take control of the game on that fourth down scramble by Marsh, where they go up 14-0. And Providence, it just wasn't there for them on the ground. I think they threw the ball a lot more than they probably wanted to, and put a lot on their quarterback, Nico Fondrizi, who made some plays, hit some home runs, but also 3 interceptions that really hurt him, and including that last one that kind of snuffed out any comeback hopes that they had.
All right, so that's the tail of the tape here. Again, Milan, your regional champs in Class 1A. And go back to something we talked about earlier. Again, East Central going down to defeat tonight to New Palestine 20-6 at home. And East Central will go back to 4A next year, but still, those 2 years that Jake Myers and company coming off back-to-back state championships in 4A, and they went back-to-back sectionals in 5A. That's not too shabby.
That's all right.
Yeah, that'll do. Yeah. But again, and we also had our one of our guys back at the studio, John Heil, asked, did the Milan boys have some reservation fried chicken or something before the game with the 3 interceptions? That is wild, but that's pretty much Milan's thing. Win the turnover battles, it is for anything, but seems like when they need it, they come up with the big interceptions and the big fumble recoveries.
Definitely did tonight, and you kind of, if you're a Providence fan, player, parent, whoever, I don't think that you go into this game worried about the turnovers, because they have turned the ball over this season a bunch, but they all came in bunches. They had 5 turnovers in their loss to Holy Cross on August 29th. They had 3 turnovers to Charlestown on September 19th. But outside of that, they really haven't turned it over that much. So they're actually the team that forces turnovers. They're a team that's turned it over 10 times this season coming in, and they've got a very, very big turnover margin the other way. I think it's plus 11 is what I've got written down, and they were only able to get 1 turnover, and it was really a self-inflicted mistake by Milan. So a lot of credit due to the Indians' offense just taking care of the football and not helping out their opponent here tonight.
Yeah, they just had the one blemish, but it ended up not hurting them in the end.
No. Yeah, and again, you're talking about the defense here, talking a sudden change opportunity. Ball, I think it was about the 40-yard line after that fumble. And the defense able to respond, meet the moment, and keep Providence out of the end zone there, keep momentum on Milan's side.
And, of course, the Indians and their fans have made their way to around the end zone off to our right. They're celebrating. Of course, they had the trophy presentation. And we're hoping to get a word with Milan head coach Ryan Lankferman. Asked him to come up for the post-game show tonight. And he said, might be a while, but, hey, I think we're capable of killing the clock.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I'll tell you what, it was, you had the narratives with all the defending state champs, and Milan, they survived, advanced. It's a good story that they beat their rival. I mean, of course, that is a couple of our coverage schools, North Decatur and Milan. It seems like it's always a Pier 6 brawl, backstreet fight, if you will, back alley fight. But Milan just put it to him last week, 20-point differential. And tonight, a 22-7. Again, that's back-to-back weeks. Milan holding the opposition to one score.
Yeah, I mean, you talk about facing the defending state champs, a team that's only lost 2 games and hasn't lost in over a month now, like a month and a half, closer to 2 months, really.
Yeah, 6-game winning streak coming in.
So, and I know from experience, once you get into college and certainly in professional sports, you don't really worry about the intimidation factor that much, but in high school sports, it's hard, as a 16, 18-year-old kid to come out here and say, you know what, they're just like us. They put their pants on one leg at a time.
That's right.
And Milan definitely not intimidated, if anything, the aggressor. And again, that stop, keep going back to it, the stop on the first series of the game after Providence starts at midfield, really setting the tone for this game.
And the celebration continues off to our right. The Milan Indians, your Regional 24 champions in Class 1A, and they will go on to play Cascade next week. And I believe that game is at the TP if all the configurations and mathematics and the wind's blowing right and all that other stuff. You just never know with the way they have it figured. But that should be a home game for the Milan Indians. Of course, we will be sure to confirm that and pass that information along. But just a great scene. Off to our right, the folks who made the trip down from Milan and Pierceville and other points of Ripley County. Just a great thing and a great thing to see. And, and again, Ryan Lankferman, a part of so much success, not only as a coach, but also as a player back in the mid-'90s. I mean, Milan had not won a sectional championship in football, and he came in there, won back-to-back in the mid-'90s, 95, 96, and then he's won several championships as a coach, and then now winning a regional. Of course, they and getting to play next week at the semi-state.
Oh, yeah. Well, you're talking about whether it's home, road, you don't know for sure yet. I can tell you all those people down to our right, they could play that game on Mars for all they care. They'll be there ready to go. So that's always, those special moments that you remember from playing high school football or high school sports in general, these big wins, especially. There's just something so fun about going on the road, especially if it's a couple hours away. Might not have a ton of experience with your opponent, kind of foreign territory, enemy territory, and you go on the road and it's kind of you against everybody else and you get the job done. That's a really, really fun feeling.
And credit the Milan Indians fans for traveling well.
Oh, yeah.
Coming down from Ripley County, making that trip, the 2-hour trip. And, they were out. They were loud and proud across the way wearing the black and Vegas gold. Yeah,
I said it earlier. It is. You do notice that as a player. When you go on the road and you see a lot of your colors up in the stands there, that does make a difference. It's a really cool feeling that people are spending their Friday driving all the way down here to cheer you and your team on.
And conversely, the other side of the coin, the heartbreak and the disappointment of the fans wearing Navy and Vegas gold, still lingering. A lot of the players still out on the field, hugging their loved ones, hugging their teammates, coaches, and just kind of going through the postmortems, if you will, and having to deal with the finality of it all.
It is. Finality is a good word, and it's sudden, especially if you're a team that's favored to make this deep run, and then all of a sudden it comes to an end. So I can tell you right now, Monday's going to be really weird for them.
Yeah.
Because since at least August, have been every day after school you go to practice, and then it's just over and done with. So that's hard to deal with. It's very sudden. It's difficult to adjust to, but still a very, very good season. And I don't think that anybody here is necessarily worried about Providence not making it back to the top of the mountain.
Indeed. And, of course, got to lose some key seniors, but at the same time, they've got a lot of good upperclassmen. I mean, there's a lot of potential there, especially the quarterback, Nico Fundrizi.
Yeah.
I was impressed with him.
Yeah, not his best night by any means with the 3 interceptions, but you can see some of the arm strength. Maybe tweak a couple of things here and there, a little bit more accurate on those deep balls, give your receiver a better chance to make the play. But, I mean, he got his numbers right here in front of me, 1,600 yards, 23 touchdowns, 3 interceptions coming into play today. And as a sophomore, that's quarterback is not an easy position to play at any level. Got a lot going on in between the ears, and of course the physical aspect as well. So I think that he's got a good frame, maybe add a little bit of muscle in the off season. And I think that they've got a player there, and talked about it earlier on in the pregame, how many sophomores and juniors and even freshmen see the field for Providence. And as much as this stings, it's probably a good experience for them, knowing that, we've been here in the playoffs. We got knocked out, but we're going to learn from this, and we're going to handle the moment better next time.
Indeed. And conversely, his opposite number, and he is his opposite number, also wears number 12, Wyatt Marsh. Once again, an impressive effort on his part. 842 passing yards, 13 touchdowns, just 1 interception coming into tonight. And he had the... he didn't pass for any touchdowns, but he ran them in. He's now got 12 rushing touchdowns on the season. And tell you what, you want to talk about a field general. He exhibited that tonight.
Just the offense, it operated really, really cleanly, I thought. I think they had 2 false start penalties, which obviously hurt, and you want to get cleaned up. But overall, they managed the clock, I think, very well. There were a couple times where it looked like the play clock was getting down. You might have to call a timeout, but they get the play off, getting in and out of the huddle, getting lined up correctly, not getting any, illegal formation, anything like that. So that's such a big deal, and such a big part of being a quarterback is just making sure that people are doing what they're supposed to do and that you're operating the offense well. And, of course, wasn't too bad with his legs either. That big touchdown on a 4th and 6 to stretch it to 14-0, one of the bigger plays in the game that really, I thought, helped Milan put a chokehold on it early on.
Indeed, and still waiting for Coach Ryan Langferman to hopefully join us in the post-game show. Again, he was invited up, and he said it would probably going to be a while, but is understood. And, of course, we welcome the folks who listen to the East Central loss to New Palestine. Again, the final score there, 20-6. Our final score here tonight, Milan, a 22-7 winner at Providence in the Class 1A regional championship game. And, of course, they will go on to play South Putnam tonight. They beat Sheridan at home. 26-6 was the final score there. So we're going to go ahead. Why don't we say we take our final 60-second timeout. Hopefully, we'll start seeing signs of Coach Langferman joining us, making his way here. And we'll take our chance with that. But anyway, we'll go ahead and take a quick 60-second timeout. We'll be back with more. And you're listening to High School Football on 103.9 FM and the WRBI app.
Go stream, go work, go game. No matter what you do online, we've got you. Great Plains Communications. Super fast, reliable internet built for the way you live, work, and play. Powered by our expanding fiber network, local call centers, technicians, technical support, and over a century of experience, we ensure your connection is fast, reliable, and stress-free. Go make the switch to Great Plains Communications today. And remember, for all the ways you live online, we've got you.
Franklin County Farmers Mutual Insurance at 125 Main Street in Brookville was founded in 1900. And they're not just for farmers. Get your auto and home insurance through Franklin County Farmers Mutual Insurance Company, too. Visit their website at fcfminsurance.org. Looking for a local insurance company with local agents? Look no further. Franklin County Farmers Mutual Insurance. Not just for farmers.
The most and best high school sports is on WRBI.
And the celebration for the Milan Indians continues to the end zone off to our right as they knock off the Providence Pioneers 22-7 in tonight's regional championship ball game. And we're hoping to get a word from Coach Ryan Langferman. If not, we're going to go ahead and kind of wrap things up here. Don't see any movement of them or making any advancement here, but hopefully we can get a word with them on the way out. But I'll tell you what, Max, what a terrific night. No matter what, wonderful evening. 63 degrees at kickoff. Beautiful night, not what you would expect in the regional round. You're usually bundled up and seen a lot of blankets and things of that nature, but great night and a really good night, especially if you're a Milan Indian fan.
Yeah, again, these are the nights if you're a player, even a parent, that you remember and you miss when it's over. So this bus ride home is going to be a fun one for the guys in white.
Indeed. So things continue off to our right, and still no sign of Coach Langferman. So I don't know. I'm probably about talked out between flapping my gums during the game and,
Well, we know how this is going to play out. Is as soon as we sign off, he's going to make his way over here. So
you got that right. You got that right. Yeah, that's happened to our team on more than a few occasions. But nevertheless, I do want to tell you something about the fact that Milan came up with 3 turnovers tonight. And thanks to a generous grant, every dollar you donate will be matched with $2 into the Ripley County Community Foundation's Turnover Hunger Fund, which is dedicated to providing meals to elementary school children in need in Ripley County. So that means your $50 contribution becomes $150 to support this cause. You can donate to the Turnover Hunger Program at the Ripley County Community Foundation's website, which is rccfonline.org, where every dollar counts and multiplies. So, again, your gift can be tripled and, things of that nature. Great cause to send food home on weekends with elementary school kids in Ripley County who, unfortunately, are food insecure. So with that, it looks like that is going to be a no-go. We tried, but, hey, we gave it our best, Max.
Hung in there as long as we could.
Yeah, indeed. Again, we want to, before we head on out of here, we want to thank some folks. Athletic Director Ted Leeser here at Providence, top-notch hospitality, and just a first-class operation. Everybody just couldn't have been nicer to us here, and we appreciate Ted Leeser and his staff for all their hospitality and courtesies extended to us. Also, our thanks to Coach Ryan Langferman for his comments in the pregame interview. Also, Providence coach Daniel McDonald for his pregame comments. Also, a big tip of the cap to Brent Lee and John Heil back at the studio. And also our sponsors of tonight's ball game on WRBI. They are Bruns Gutzwiller, The Reservation Restaurant, Napoleon State Bank, Hummel Winters Insurance, Ivy Tech Community College, Gehrings, Beck Properties, Ison's Family Pizza, Great Plains Communications, Ripley County Farmers Mutual Insurance, Hurt and Elko, and Randall Equipment. So the Milan Indians heading off to the semi-state next week, and they will taking on South Putnam by virtue of the Indians' 22-7 win over the Providence Pioneers. So for Max Abel, thank you for joining us this evening. We had a great time working with you, and it was you had some excellent insight. And thanks for joining us tonight.
Thanks for having me. It was a lot of fun. Always love getting out on a Friday night here, especially late in the season like this.
So again, for Max Abel and our on-site engineer Annie Nunley and everybody at WRBI, thank you for listening. You've been listening to High School Football on 103.9 FM and the WRBI app.
Catch the replay of tonight's broadcast on demand, free of charge, anytime. Find it on our YouTube page, our Facebook page, and at WRBI-TV.com. From Southeastern Indiana's sports voice, WRBI.